T-1 minute. T-minus 50 seconds. T-minus 40 seconds. T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hello, everybody. Yes, this was an impromptu live. I figured, it's been a really good week. Let's wrap it up together, Wanted to start out by saying happy rehoming day to BBJ and all of her beautiful, illustrious glory that we all got to see tonight. She looks amazing. Thank you to her new parents for taking such good care of her. And of course, a shout out to Auntie FFG for making that all possible. So let's see who we got here. We ain't got but just a handful of folks. I know. Miss Skinny Queen is going live. So, she's doing a whole recap on the BBJ rescue situation. And I understand how that goes. You guys know that I'm not going to be really down to get too far into that. Simply because everybody's going to be covering that, and I don't want to be one more just kind of saying the same stuff. Hi, say hello. Hello, mamas. Little mama has decided to come in and grace us with her presence on this BBJ rehoming day. She has 100%, her and the entire pride have completely co-signed this entire BBJ rescue and rehoming. You know what I'm saying? Let's do our little shout outs here and see who's here. Grateful. How are you, darling? It's good to see you. Ms. Leanie Bo, how are you, sweetie pie? Kalari, good to see you. Ooh, you writing anything good? All right, let's see. Miss Leona, hello, darling. I know I finished watching it too. I ain't gonna tell no lie. I was just like sitting there nodding my head to so much of what was being said. Yes, she looks so much better. Them eyes were bright and shiny. Her coat was filled out. She had gained weight. She was looking amazing. I watched Reggie's recap. Yes, me too. That's what I was doing when I was having dinner, Hi, Fairy Nymph. How are you, sweet pies? Good to see you. Hi, Miss Charlotte. Good to see you. Oh, did me put my hand up like that do that? That was weird. We had a solar flare just now. Sorry, y'all. Let's see. Yeah, she's always here. Second novel, a follow-up of the first book. Oh, well, aren't you fancy? I love to write, but I don't feel like I really have anything to talk about, if that makes sense. That's what's always stopped me from ever doing stuff like that. Hi, Monty, BJ. How are you? She does that little bit of stuff that had to be trimmed out. It's done filled back in. That the power of good care of an animal at work, well on display there. And we know Foodie's head is just going to explode when she sees it. Hi, Waldo's World. Good to see you, sweet pie. I guess so. I'm just using my overactive imagination. Girl, I don't really feel like mine's really been overly active of late, other than, overthinking things that ain't happened, that couldn't possibly happen, me just being a crazy person, but um, yes, you absolutely can. The fact that she's got weight on now and she doesn't look so gaunt, her face by itself is fuller. You can tell old girl is getting her grub on, and I am all for it. I mean, she's an elderly lady. She deserves to be able to have the last little bit of time she's got left to be the most enjoyed part of her life as she can. You know what I'm saying? I mean, who in their old age wants to be miserable and uncomfortable, it absolutely was. It absolutely was. And it was never like that before. It was always dull and it looked oily and her fur looked real clumpy. I need some information. I was diagnosed with diverticulitis. What do you recommend? High in fiber. You're going to want to stay away from things that could catch in the pockets of your intestines. So you're going to want to limit nuts, popcorn, anything with seeds. You're going to want to limit them. Now, obviously, you don't have to entirely cut them out, but you're going to want to do as much as humanly possible to try to limit those, because those are things that your body does not entirely break down and they can get caught up in those diverticula. But high fiber is good for you. Good for you. Good for you. Foodie was probably watching it live. She's throwing a fit right now. Is she on live? Has she come through showing her booty about it yet? It was so fun. I agree. Me either. I have never heard of them either, but I'm glad that they were able to find something that she liked that actually agree with her teeth and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, if they found something that she likes, I am so glad. I'm so glad. She reminds me of the baby I associate with Holstein cows. Oh, that's so sweet. Smoketail's hands were always greasy. Yeah, that too. She practically used them cats as like a paper towel. It's really, really disgusting. Oh, no problem at all. I do what I can to pass on what I know. And if there's something that I know that y'all can use, let's see. Oh yeah, no question about it. It'll probably be about 2:00 in the morning when at Girl World and all these rational functioning adults have kind of settled down for the night. Yeah, we'll get an early morning upload of her acting a damn fool. So, we know that's how it goes around these parts. So, how's y'all's week, man? It's been about a week since the last time we checked in. How's everything going for y'all? I'm hoping y'all have all had a good week. I ain't gonna tell y'all no lie. I had a good week. Okay, break it down. I wouldn't say aced this test in astronomy, the one that I had so much trouble with last time. But I did infinitely better than the last go around. It was so much easier than the first one. Got my nails redid. Went to my nail guy, and I told him he could go as ambitious as he wanted to. So he went a little cray-cray with cat eye nail polish. I got my shed put in. I spent the day today with good-looking men out in the sunshine, putting my shed's up. So now I got somewhere to put me a mower and a weed eater and my tiller that got here yesterday. So I'm gonna be all set. Okay. So I found out, thanks to Hekate's daughter, that I'm schmexy. Go figure. Who knew? Hekate had a smash or pass run on her channel. She did 2 rounds of it, and there's another one coming up where I was up against some folks that I would say it. I would be like, I'm fixing to go in the discard pile. And amazingly enough, I didn't get discarded. So I was just like, okay, I'll take that little ego boost. Thank you very much. And even Hekate told me, and oh my goodness, it was quite a compliment coming from her. She was like, girl, you is beautiful. You is fine. You need to embrace it. But I explained to her, it's really kind of hard, for me to even have that sort of thought process about myself sometimes, because I spent so much of my life as a fat girl especially when I was a kid and, into young adulthood, I never got complimented. I never even got told that, well, you're a pretty girl. You're pretty for a big girl. I never even got told that then, So it's really kind of hard to retrain your brain, to get away from that sort of thinking. And even with, the change to my body, to my personality and all that stuff, it's really kind of hard not to have like a little bit of body dysmorphia where I always feel like I'm bigger than I am, if that makes sense. And I don't know if everybody who has weight loss surgery feels that way, but I do. I always feel like I'm bigger than I am, but yes, they gave me an ego boost, had me walking around feeling good about myself, even looking like this. I was like, I'm a bad bitch and I'm just going to accept it, So thanks to Hecate for that. I'm going to tell you, she has been a very, very sweet girl. And little did I know that I was getting these compliments from a full-blown diva. I mean, I had no idea what Hecate looked like up until like yesterday evening. And I was like, holy shit, she's beautiful. She is a beautiful, beautiful lady. And I was like, holy moly. And she's telling me that. I'm like, come on now. I'm like that makes a heifer feel good about herself. You know what I'm saying? So, add to, I have got me a new job, a better job. I'm still going to be working with the agency. But I went and interviewed for a weekend supervisor position at an ALF that is a literal 10-minute drive from my house. It'll be 2 days a week, 16-hour days. So I'm going to be, by the end of Sunday night, I'm going to be ready to go to bed. But I'll only have to work 2 days a week and my week is done. And if I have me a goal or something like that I'm like, okay, I want to go on a trip. Okay, I want to get me a hot tub. I want to get me some new furniture. I want to get me some pretty plants. I can work me a shift in the middle of the week somewhere through agency and have that money. You know what I'm saying? That'll be my play money, my play money. But I actually got the call today. They were telling me, oh, we'll get with you Monday to let you know if you got it. Well, I heard from the office manager today saying, hey, I need you to come in to do your paperwork so I can put you in the system. But the DON had already pretty much told me that she was going to hire me before I left. So, yeah, it's been a good week, y'all. Oh, speaking of nutty, remember I told y'all I wanted a bird of paradise? I found me a bird of paradise, girl, at Lowe's of all places. I was shocked. It was only $15. I was shocked. I'm so happy. I got me a whole bunch of stuff I'm gonna do next week. The beginning of next week, we're gonna get this yard party thing kicked off right. So yeah, it has been like, man, it has been one of those banner weeks where you're just like, God, everything is just going so good. Everything is just going so good, the only downside of it all, and not to like be a buzzkill or anything. I think another reason too that I wanted to come on, and like I said, not to be a buzzkill or anything, but today is the anniversary of my mom's passing. And I kind of have already figured out that it is really not good to spend time by yourself when you hit milestones like that don't come associated with good feelings. You know what I mean? So I was sitting here eating my dinner and I was just like, oh, because I had somebody, the step monster actually send me a message and saying, hey, how you doing? Okay. Are you all right? I swiped it off and then it dawned on me exactly what she was asking. And I was just like, I don't need to be by myself for a little while, better to have company. And y'all are always good company. We're going to be good company for each other. Let me catch up. I done run my gator so much. Let's see. Holy moly. Da, da, da. I'm in New Zealand, so my time zone works well. Oh, that works out beautifully for you then, Shell. Man, my birthday is Sunday, so it's been really good. Going out to eat real Mexican food tomorrow. I love Mexican food. I can't help myself. It don't always agree with me, but I love it. Going good. Had warm weather, so I got out of the house a lot more. Still can't play it yet, though. The snow knows that I want to. Well, let me tell you, though, as crazy as it sounds, even though, like, Punxsutawney Phil, cleared us from winter, 6 extra weeks in winter, let me tell you, it's still been cold here. Like the next couple of nights is supposed to be in the 40s. And it's just like, okay, I'm going to have to wait. I don't want to wait, but I'm going to have to wait because I would hate to transplant something and then have it end up kicking the bucket because it got too cold in the first couple of days. You know what I mean? Yeah. Speaking of, that's an excellent point. Let me find it. Leona makes a good point. How are you feeling? You doing better? Oh, you actually said it right there. But we are still making forward progress though, right? I mean, you're not feeling like you're kind of stuck. I hope not anyway. No, well, that's not a she shed. It's just a shed, honey. I found me a little 4x8, like angled top shed that I could put at the end of my house. I have like an alcove that I can slide it into so that it's out of the way. And just something to keep a lawnmower and yard tools and stuff in so that I ain't got them junking up my garage. I've got to clean out my garage. That thing turned into a catch-all before I moved here, and it continues to be a catch-all. So I've got to empty that out and get that part of my life in order, because going in there it sets off my OCD in the worst kind of way. Just going in there, even just to go in there to rotate the laundry, it just bothers me. Oh my God, I took astronomy. I took astronomy as a summer to get it over with. I barely passed. I can't get my head around -4 million to n to the 32nd power. Congrats. Oh, I don't think we haven't really got that far. I mean, like, this is the second test. So we were covering like the planets and distance from the Earth and, stuff like that. Like which one has like the highest temperature, all the different types of light and radiation and, color scale and all that stuff. I mean, we're still real early, and I have a feeling that's probably going to get worse as time goes along. You know what I mean? Today acting bipolar as hell. I'm not. So that's fun. Well, hey, everybody's entitled to have one of them moments every so often. I'm not going to tell you any lie. If you don't have a day where you just go off the rails a little bit, then you ain't human. So, you're automatically forgiven. Oh, well, Tink, that's so sweet of you. It's nice. It's nice to feel pretty, y'all. I don't really have them moments a lot where I feel myself, but that put me in one of them moods where I was just like, I'm feeling myself. I ain't gonna tell you no lie. Let's see. I'll have to take a look. I think I saw the last one that you posted, but I don't know if you've posted any more since then, but I will be adding to that though. It seemed, well, I'm going to tell you, assisted living is actually nothing like nursing home work. I'll have like 60 patients in the building with me, but they do everything for themselves. They go to the bathroom on their own. They put on their own clothes. They feed themselves, all that stuff. The only thing that I'll need to do is, like, if you have people that have trouble remembering when their medicine is due, then I'll just duck in and I'll get all their medicines out and everything and deal them out for them. And then I'll be right back out of their hair again. So I'll only have to give medication to like 20 people, which is drastically less than working in a nursing home. ALS is in the alien. Actually, it's funny that you said that, because as soon as I saw not thinking about Alf, but the alien got me thinking about a song, which is an awesome song, by the way. Hardworking and intelligent is most attractive to me than looks. That's the thing. Like I have told people before that, I think I'm cute, but I think it's mostly, how I am versus what I look like, Actually, Tinkling, I can show you what a bird of paradise looks like. It's a plant. I'm gonna share screen 2. And these right here, let me find a halfway decent picture here. They get really, really tall. This right here. And they call them birds of paradise because if you'll look at the flower, it looks like a bird with its wings open, like a very colorful tropical bird. And these right here, they get up to 6 feet tall, and they'll get as wide as like 5 or 6 feet wide. And I had a particular place for them that I wanted to put them in. So I was like, ooh, I'd really love to have one of those. And they're perfect for where I'm at because they thrive in the zone that I'm at. They are very tropical. So I was just like, definitely going to have to find me one. So I found me one. I was so happy. I was doing my little happy dance on the way to the cash register with it. I ain't going to lie. Yes, I agree wholeheartedly. And I mean, and honestly, like I said, I'm trying so hard not to, delve too far into the connective feelings of that because, number one, I hate to cry. Number two, I hate to be depressed, and that's ultimately what comes with that when you get too far into it. And I just don't want to devote that amount of energy to it right now. Hey, Blondie, how are you doing today, sweetie pie? Yep, I got all my veggie seeds planted and got my Nana's snail planter planted with a pretty flower. I found some of them whiskey barrels that I want. And then I found some tall planters that I want. My eyeballs is shopping like I ain't got no budget, so I've got stuff just kind of saved. It's like save, and I'll just kind of get the stuff along and along. If I go too crazy, I'll be looking at that going, oh my God. I'll be like, oh my God, why did I do that? Thank you, Leona. I appreciate that. I know y'all do. You see, that's exactly it, right? Not today, Satan. I got no interest in none of that. You know what I mean? It has been a good week. I have been feeling better this week than I did the week before. And the last thing that I want is to derail all that, and my mom wouldn't want me to derail all that. Hi, Sherry. How you doing? Oh, yeah. They found out what was causing the symptoms and have my medication. Holy moly, that's, well, unfortunately, even though they say that, obviously medicine is a science. It's not a perfect science. It's not an exact science. And as bad as that sounds, that's usually the way things go, as much as I hate to say it. I always thought that was cute, but in this hemisphere, there's going to be 6 weeks on the calendar. Oh no. Sherry. Girl, I need a good nurse to know how to not blow veins. I have poor health, and they blow my veins every time. You need to tell them to get one of the ER nurses to stick you. ER nurses, them girls can find veins that you didn't realize you had there in the dark with their eyes closed. Most of them, they get veins that are impossible to get. So that'll be the way to go. Oh, it absolutely was. Absolutely. Me too. Because don't get me wrong. I enjoy working agency, but you guys have heard me talk about the stuff that's going on. Shifts being canceled without talking to me, or, there being a drop in the shifts available, or having to drive all the way to BFE to go to work. And, it's just like, okay, I moved from the boonies to the city so that I wouldn't have to drive an hour or more to go to work, So I'm just kind of like, over it. Yes. And see, that was kind of my aim. I wanted something that was bright and colorful and, attracted pollinators so that they can help me with my vegetables when I get my vegetables planted. So, When I worked at the day hub, we had great employees, but the management was garbage. They made it almost unbearable to work. That's usually the way it goes, though, as sad as that sounds. Thank you, Tink. Oh, I did see that, but your cake was very cute, by the way. Very cute. My mom was in assisted living where I spent many, many days overnight taking her out, doing her hair, meeting and knowing all 58 of her neighbors and helping the kitchen staff out was fun. Well, in this place, one thing that I do, because you guys remember that I was at an ALF right after I started here, and I left because they were completely disregarding all patient safety. The director of nurses specifically asked me about that and why it is that I left there. And I told her, I said, can I be frank and have it not skew your evaluation of me? And she said, absolutely. And I told her, I said, I am very big on patient safety. I am very big on staff safety. They go hand in hand with each other. I said, and when I see and I report things and I am basically told to be quiet, we're talking about things that I just can't abide with. I was like, the whole point behind doing what we do is to ensure that everybody gets through to the end of the day with no problems and that they're safe and that they're healthy. I said, and if you have things that compromise safety going on and they're just being allowed to go on, I said, then that opens up liability for me. That opens up liability for the patients and for the facility. I said, so I just could not get on board with that. And she said, oh, well, you won't have to worry about that here. She says, that place that you were at previously was very much corporate run. She said, but this is a family-owned operation, and they very much believe in putting the patients and the connection and developing a bond with them at the forefront. They want all of us to be a cohesive unit between the staff and the patients families. So I'm hoping this will be very good because I love my job. It'll be nice to be able to actually be somewhere that I know that I can have somebody to back me up when I say, hey, this is an issue. I need help. I'll say a little early here to plan. We haven't really had like any major cold snaps, but like tonight and tomorrow night is supposed to be down in the 40s. I didn't want to chance it. You know what I mean? I think they just wanted to pull my levels up, but it did too much. I'm good now. Well, yeah, they overshot the mark just to have to dial you back. Don't you love it when that happens? They're like, well, what we're doing is not quite enough, so we're just going to throw double the amount at it. And once we get it leveled out, then we'll back it down. You know what I mean? Yeah. See, ER nurses are, they are top notch on their IVs. That's actually where I learned to start IVs, because when I went into the hospitals, I did do time on the floor, but the RN, the charge nurse, the RN charge nurse that was on the floor, she was the one that did all the IV restarts, hung all the IV meds, and it was just my responsibility for all the other stuff. So when the time came that I got the opportunity to transition to ER, whatever patient was in front of me, everything was my responsibility. Drawing their blood, hanging their IVs, all of it. So I got to learn how to do all kind of great and wonderful stuff. And it made starting IVs to me were fun to do, especially the ones that people are just like, I'm a hard stick. And I'm like, game on, I'm down. Let's do it. My aunt has shingles and is so much pain. Luckily, her 3 daughters are helping her. Bless her heart. Has she seen anybody to see about getting her on some kind of antiviral to help with that? Or some pain reliever, analgesics of some sort? Bad management is horrible to work under. Yeah, exactly. I work at unethical hospitals like that to shred a chart. Oh God, really? That's not good. That's not good at all. I'm going to tell you, well, first off, hi, Granny. Honestly, those are not safe places for you to work. I mean, I know you're probably not digging or jiving with the idea of, you know, changing up jobs, especially if you've been there for a while. But, it's been my experience and I've seen it happen where a lot of facilities, they will hang everybody below management to save the people in authority, and they'll kind of pawn it off on everybody else. So I don't know. I mean, just depends on what you're willing to accept, I guess, Tink, because honestly, you got to find somewhere that's going to have some sort of actual standards, that have some sort of ethics, as it were, who actually believe in what they're doing. And sadly, that's what you're talking about is actually getting to be so much more common now, especially as you have larger corporations buying up multiple hospitals all over the place. And they pay, your CEO, your CFO, your nurse managers, all that stuff. They are paid exorbitant salaries. They're paid exorbitant bonuses on top of those salaries, but they cut the funding to supplies and hourly staff, and they think that they can get by with that. But that's not the case. I mean, ideally, without the patients, you have no money coming in. And if your patients don't feel they're getting a good level of patient care, they're going to go somewhere else unless they don't have a choice, So it's just the overall state of healthcare as a whole right now is really not in a good place. And the whole situation with the COOF and the lockdown and all that stuff, it pretty much showed us where all the blind spots were that we weren't seeing before, Yes, praise. She finally got pain meds after 4 weeks. Bless her heart. They should have done that a long time ago. I got the shingles vaccine. I learned how awful as a kid. My beloved neighbor man had it. Bless him. Bless him. Bless him. I know that they can be miserable. I got to say I've been lucky. I haven't had it. But I have taken care of plenty of people who have, and they say that it is absolutely miserable. So, okay, let me see.
Ding.
Oh, all right. So that had me on a thought process. Oh, how about this? How about this now? And I'm going to tell y'all, I just can't with people. Now, throw me a 1 in the chat if you know that when somebody says, okay, people under anesthesia act loopy, that does not mean every single human being to ever go under anesthesia. I'll explain in a minute. Okay. See, I figured that was the case. I thought that people would kind of get that, but apparently they don't. So I'm going to say this because I made that short talking about Solid Boy being completely coherent and lucid while he's supposedly in the recovery room. And I had like 2 or 3 people leaving me comments under that short saying, well, all I had happen in recovery is my blood pressure dropped. And I was having full-blown conversations as soon as I came out of surgery. And I started to make a damn short and post it, but I was like, nope, I'm not going to be a butthole. But, I think it's interesting to me that people feel the need, and see, see, that's the thing. And that's kind of where I'm fixing to get into it. I mean, when I make a comment like I've seen so many people under anesthesia, and a lot of them are not lucid. They're very loopy. They're not making any sense, stuff like that. That is me basing my assessment off of prior experience. Now, when I make that comment, it's not me saying that every human being on the great wide planet is this way. I mean, but when you see a predominant amount of the people that you've encountered that way, then that kind of becomes your norm, your standard by which you kind of function. It's not like, and I wanted so badly to say it. I'm like, this is not rocket science. This is general statistics. Whenever you have 80% of a particular population that you deal with that presents the same way, that kind of becomes the norm, and anything in that other 20% is a deviation from that norm that's kind of been established. And it's almost with the comments, the way that they and the way that they were written, it almost came across like a gotcha. And I was like kind of rolling my eyes at it. And I'm not 100% sure that was even the point behind the comments, because it is incredibly hard to connect exactly what's being said with the intention behind it. There is no inflection behind text, So I was looking at it and I was just like, I didn't really need you to point that out. I'm aware that there are people who don't have the atypical reactions and atypical recovery process or side effects, but thank you anyway, I guess. Well, see, and that makes you incredibly lucky. I am so glad that you have the ability to do that. See, and it differs each time you do it too. So that's something. I've had times I came out of anesthesia and asked for my baby, and at a time where I came out and was just tired. I mean, we've seen video. I mean, we watched a video of the dude not even knowing who his wife is after he had general anesthesia. It varies from person to person, obviously, but a large portion of the ones that I've dealt with, because of what they were giving, were incredibly zonky, I thought they can give you something to sort of get that loopy feeling to go away. Well, it depends. I think most of it depends on the type of anesthesia they use, because like the particular set of folks that I worked with in the GI lab, they loved to give propofol. Propofol is actually the medication that killed Michael Jackson because it was not being carefully administered and under, specific regulation when it was being used. But in a hospital setting, when you have a nurse there and an anesthesiologist and an MD, and oxygen and all of that stuff, it can be used with no problems at all. And most of the patients that I dealt with in the GI lab who were under sedation, that's what they used. And they call it milk of amnesia because, you wouldn't remember right before they knocked you out. You certainly wouldn't remember during, and you wouldn't remember a portion of after we woke you back up. So, I mean, obviously there's going to be different effects with each one, but I mean, that's part of what I think it is. It's just like, I'm not saying everybody, I'm just saying a lot, and the fact is I don't think you can really believe anything that Sala says or Foodie says. No, the conversations really aren't. I mean, there are moments where they can be, and then there's moments when it makes no sense at all. It's like talking to a drunk person, you know. Someday they'll be the loopiest ones afterwards and they won't believe it. Right. Exactly. And that's why I say, you know, those people that are lucky enough that they're able to spring back really fast from it, I don't fault you that. I'm so glad that you can. Props to you for being able to rebound so quickly. But yep. But I just had to ask that question. I'm like, I know I'm not, the way that I word things is not, it is not black and white. It is like, okay, here's most of what I've seen, and what he's saying doesn't quite make sense based on what I'm accustomed to. So y'all help me make sense of it all. But yeah, there were people that were like, well, I didn't have that experience. And there was actually one that said that they woke up in the middle and then just laid there and dealt with it. I was like, what? Did you let anybody know that you were awake? Because if you did, they would have knocked your tail right back out again. Every time Foodie and Salad open their mouths, I just imagine the world's largest whoopee cushion. True enough. I got what you were saying in the short. You weren't saying everyone, just what you observed. Right. And for some reason, there were people like, well, that I didn't have that. I was like, bro, I'm like, did I come over there and pull your tampon string? Really? God bless. He must have it's usually people that have like, there's certain things like genetically based, like your redheaded folks require, you know, a little bit more substantial pain management and anesthesia dosing because they have a tendency to have a tolerance to it. And, you know, there are other things too, you know. So, I mean, there may have been something going on with him that he didn't even know that he had that caused him to wake up in the middle. But that's wow. My son acted really loopy with his wisdom teeth surgery. It was a little funny taking him back to his appointment. I'm with Kat though. The nitrous, because this is gonna sound really bad. I have really, really extreme anxiety when it comes to the dentist. I had a bad experience as a child, and ever since then, I have this almost a fight or flight response whenever I'm at the dentist. So they have to put nitrous on me just to clean my teeth to keep me calm and keep me there, you know. So I feel that, every bit of that. And I actually had the people at the dentist office the last time I went, they were laughing at me because, you know, they were playing country music in the dentist office, and Kenny Chesney was on, and I went, "Whoo, that's my husband, y'all!" And all of them in the room was laughing at me. I mean, I don't remember really saying that because I was feeling good, but you know, they reminded me. Hi, Crab Apples. How are you, sweetie pie? There are some mean nurses. I had a nurse tell me you pee in the bed and you'll sleep in it. That's see, I could have me. I would have me a field day with that. I mean, a flat out field day with that. That's not okay. Same. I had a sadistic dentist as a child, and it absolutely does. I mean, going into like full blown panic attacks, ready to fight my way out of the chair sort of thing. It's just like, oh man. Here's the bad thing about it though, too. My wisdom teeth. Okay. I've had to have like porcelain caps put over my back teeth to keep me from getting cavities. Apparently, I have really deep crevicing in my teeth. And the only ones that I did not have that done with were my wisdom teeth. So my wisdom teeth have actually broken in places, and pieces have come off of them in places. And I mean, they don't give me any problems. They're not infected. There's no issue. but eventually there will be. So I'm going to have them removed. I'm going to have them cut out. And I am not looking forward to that because I am going to have to be one of those ones that go under full sedation, and I'm going to have to plan that out as to somebody taking me and staying there and then bringing me home and putting me in the bed, stuff like that, because I couldn't. There's an anesthesiologist on YouTube. He talks about all those drugs. He's cute too. Don't remember the channel name. You get to learn all kind of interesting things about those medications and this type of stuff that the type of stuff that you have to monitor and look at, and the type of side effects and symptoms to expect during and after. So I'm so glad I could make you laugh, girl. Hey, I mean, well, most of them will, provided that you explain to them what's going on. And it just, so long as you're willing to pay for the nitrous, most of them will be like, okay, whatever you want to do. I can't do the fluoride paste or liquid at the dentist. I don't ever eat before, just in case. God bless you. Yeah, see, I had them chopped out 20 years ago. Wisdom teeth are pesky. I've got to say, I've been really, really lucky that I haven't had any problems with them thus far, other than like one of them is kind of turned at an angle instead of straight up and down. It's kind of turned at an angle toward the front of my mouth a little bit, but no problems, thankfully. I disassociated during the wisdom teeth removal. The dentist complimented me, and I was not going to tell him that my mind went away while he was doing it. I'm going to he's not going, whoever I see is not going to get the opportunity. They're going to have to just knock me all the way the fuck out, because I will not be able to do, I won't be able to do it. I won't be able to be lucid for that. I need my crowns replaced and 2 teeth are broken. New dentist has done nothing to help me. Bless your heart, girl. You ought to see what your other options are. If there's another dentist in town that they can give you, that they can point you to, that might be able to help you. Dentist that shoved that thing in my mouth making me gag. I got to go really soon to get some crowns replaced or something. Yeah, see, all of us right now, the shit is too expensive, and that's usually what we put off is the teeth, because unless they're giving us problems, it's out of sight, it's out of mind. We're not thinking about it, Girl, hey, they give me a Xanax, and they probably won't have to give me nothing else, because me and anything narcotic based, it practically puts me in a coma. So they do that. They could yank half my teeth out. They could drive a train through the room. I probably wouldn't hear none of it. I am incredibly medication sensitive. He had a video on 3 guys who froze to death at the Chiefs. Yeah, I heard about that, but I haven't seen anything on it though. The family dentist was too rough for me as a kid, so I went to a peds dentist, and they gave nitrous for cavities and some procedures that helped me not to be scared of the dentist now. Well, here's the bad thing. The dentist that I had issue with originally, he was the peds dentist. It was in a big pediatric group, and adults went to one side and children went to the other. They had like this whole play area for kids and all this stuff. And it was the peds dentist that did all of this, that gave me this fear, that instilled that fear in me because of what the way things went. So, there's good ones and bad ones, no matter what field you get into, I guess. I had a full-on impacted abscess wisdom tooth on my upper right jaw. It was horrible. God bless you. I couldn't even imagine, man. See, everybody's a little different. The gas does help me, like whenever they're doing cleanings and stuff. But if they're going to do anything like filling a cavity or them taking the wisdom teeth out and all that stuff, because thankfully my porcelain caps on my teeth, they are doing what they're supposed to do. I haven't had any cavities in any of my permanent molars other than the wisdom teeth that didn't have those caps put on. So I'm incredibly lucky in that regard. I could hear the tools some, but my brain spaced out. Bless your heart, girl. I could not. I would lose it. When I was little, I reflexively punched my dentist in the face for trying to get Rads because the things made me gag. I was like 6, so they opted for nitrous and anesthetic for wisdom's out. I made it. Woo! Now I'm gonna tell you, they're not gonna know what to make of me because I'm gonna tell them y'all gonna have to knock me all the way out, like all the way out. I tell you what, we'll schedule this all at one time. You take all my wisdom teeth out and just go ahead and clean all my teeth while you're at it. Let's just do it all in one go. We'll schedule everything close together so that it can all be handled together. Yeah, see, my brother didn't have any problem with him. But my younger brother didn't see him for very long because he had my brother's teeth were really, really bad. So not long after that, he ended up going to the orthodontist, and the orthodontist put braces on him. He was in braces for like 5 or 6 years because his teeth were they were in rough shape before he went in, but they would obviously, go in, do all his cleanings and refit him and all that stuff when he was at the orthodontist. So after that point, he didn't have to deal with this dentist anymore. But when all that stuff happened between me and the dentist, we ended up changing dentists, obviously, because I told my folks what happened. And, the inside of my mouth where this guy had cut me was still bleeding. And I actually pulled my lip out and was showing my folks, and they weren't happy about it. But yeah, damage was done. You know what I mean? The worst was telling my mom about his jokes and torturing me with the cold air. I had sensitive teeth and drill. And she was like, he's just playing. He also put my caps in wrong. God. Isn't it insane the level of stuff that parents kind of allow to go on or to get away with because they're dealing with kids? I mean, to me, and I do got to say this, in that situation with the dentist, I was very lucky. My parents actually listened to me, especially when I showed them what had happened. And I flat out told them, I'm like, I will not ever go back in there again. And they were just like, okay, and because they knew I was, even as a young kid, I was incredibly, incredibly stubborn. And I would have flat not got out of the car. It wouldn't have mattered what they did to me. I wouldn't have got out of the car, even if they threatened to whoop me. So, and I explained to them, I'm like, I can't. I'm like, if I go back in there and he hurts me again, I'm going to end up hurting him. And y'all are not going to want to deal with that. And I guess they were just like, yeah, let's not risk that. So, okay, we're not going to do a whole lot of the girls tonight. Yeah. See, I agree. Wholeheartedly agree. Yep. I can take the punishment kind of kid. After the caps fell out, I refused to go back. I don't blame you. And even many adults still automatically defer to authority, doctors, lawyers, etc. Agreed. But I mean, if you know your kid, you would think that they would be like, well, this is out of norm for my kid. So, I mean, if they're saying this, and obviously that's not normal for them. So that means that there's probably something wrong. I must have lucked out. My dentist when I was a kid was really nice. I felt bad for punching him. Always got a free toothbrush and a sticker after that day, though. Because never punched him again. You just a tough chick, Cat. You're just a tough chick. Your dentist was like, she's a slugger. Let's give her a reward. It was why I'm careful with kiddos. We found him a really nice dentist that works well with autism kids. So that's good to know. I'm glad you found somebody that's actually good for him. Everybody should be able to feel safe whenever they go in to have anything done. So, okay, real quick, y'all, we're not going to cover a lot on these two crazy women, but I wanted to talk about this shepherd's pie real quick, y'all. This supposed shepherd's pie, because that ain't shepherd's pie. I'm sorry. Not to me. Number one, how you going to put actual cream on some corn and call it cream corn? That is not the same thing. Ooh, hang on. Ooh, I feel a sneeze coming. Oh, my goodness. This right here just totally threw me. I ain't never seen such a thing. How you going to call that cream corn? All right, let's see the actual thing where we divvied out the damn piece here. And that looks disgusting. I'm sorry. All right. Basically, butter and cheese pie, Right. It absolutely is. It's like, what? I was looking at that and I was like, what the hell is that supposed to be? Right. Right. Now, and I'm not, okay, I'm going to say this. I am not saying that by any stretch of the imagination that anybody should 100% limit themselves from what they eat. Okay. Now, obviously for her, it would be beneficial, but I am not saying that you should just absolutely cut out every single thing and go straight to eating just vegetables. Okay. And while it would benefit her, I mean, we know she's not capable of making those level of changes. But instead of this, what she's done here, okay, she could have made this in such a way that it would have been a hell of a lot healthier. You guys have heard me talk about this. I just made this last week. And I put bison in it, and I put some beef in it. And then I use, first off, I don't even understand that cream corn thing. I put regular corn in mine just because that's what I prefer. But in place of all them potatoes, because carbs for somebody who's menopausal is not good for you. Them carbs like you a lot more than you like them carbs, and they will stick right to your ass if you're not careful. If she really wanted to go about even making any kind of changes, there are subtle things that she could do that could help her. Like she could have bought her a head of cauliflower, which I'm pretty sure they probably bought, or, right. She could have took a head of cauliflower and made mashed cauliflower. Put her some garlic, a little bit of butter in it, some chives in it, some salt and some pepper in it. She could have doctored that, and she would have never had any idea that she substituted cauliflower for the potatoes. True enough. Not eating 10 plus pounds of cheese every month would be a great start. I agree. But we know that that's a bridge too far for old girl here. You know what I'm saying? If realistically, she has to start somewhere. We know she's not going to give up the cheese. She's not going to give up the bread. At the bare minimum, change one fucking thing, for God's sake. That could have been one thing that she could have done differently that could have benefited her. It's like it's like she's completely rebelling against the prospect that, basically, she's rebelling against her changing anything at all in her life. She is literally relying on the medication that they've got her on, and that is not going to be enough. I've said it multiple times before. Not going to be enough at all. Them medications can only go so far, especially when you're talking about an oral medication that is meant to be paired with dietary adjustments. Unless she wants to be on actual insulin, she is going to be at 9 and above from henceforth with the way that she eats. That's just a fact. It's a reality, Right. She's not going to give up anything. But the sad thing is that there are some choices that she could make that would make it a little bit more possible for her not to die sooner. You know what I mean? So there's that one. Now, let's talk about this right here. Why you gonna have all these beans and like 3 cups of rice? So you've got carbs and carbs and carbs. It is like she is almost intentionally self-sabotaging. Now, the only thing to me, this is not bad because this is protein, you know. This has got protein in it. This has got some fat in it. This has got some fat in it. She could have literally done away. She could have had a single cup of rice and a half a cup of beans, and then the yogurt and the lettuce, and that would have been more than enough to meet the needs that her body has in place dietary wise. You know, it's right. It is a filet. Well, it is a and a filet abomination. I love that. Well, see, I don't either. But I ain't gonna tell you no lie. I be taking my cauliflower, I be taking my cauliflower potatoes, and I be putting me a little bit of sour cream in them, a little bit of butter in them, some salt, some pepper. Put me a little drop of milk in it because I don't normally use cream. Cream's kind of heavy. Be mixing all that up. Okay, but hey, doctor it to your liking. Put some garlic powder in it, some onion powder in it. Sure enough, you can find a way to substitute and have things still taste as good as the original option would have been. We've talked about that. You know, the fact is that I am all about eating healthy, but by God, I want to eat good too. You know, I will find me a way because I'm not fixing to sacrifice or completely disregard my taste buds simply because I want to be healthy. I'm not going to do it. Yeah, I know you are. Or become a cannibal. Well, people don't taste good, you know. I called it chicken slop tacos with rice and baked beans. And that's exactly what those look like as baked beans. It's like, bro, what the hell is she thinking? I agree wholeheartedly. How you doing, girl, by the way? I just had to ask them questions. I mean, here's the other thing. Why is she not substituting brown rice for the white rice other than the fact that it's cheap? You know, brown rice would be a better option for her, you know? I mean, but you know, what do I know? What do I know? Dahmer disrespect. I'm sure he does, but look at where he's at. We all gonna outlive Mr. Dahmer, I'm afraid. What you mean, love? Like when I have ramen instead of heavy meats all the time with a bit of spinach and bean sprouts and it's filling. Yes. I'll tell you another thing you could do too. Like if you want to substitute, because you know, first off, not trying to be ugly, but you know, ramen don't really break down in your belly. Like, you know, they did a whole study on that girl. They had somebody eat ramen and then they did a upper scope on them at like 15 minutes and then 30 minutes and then an hour and 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours. And at the end of 8 hours, there were still pieces of ramen noodle undigested in the stomach. That says a lot about, you know, how processed they are. Because, you know, your body should have already well broken that down, you know. Yeah, I know. But I was going to say there's another one. Hang on. I can't think it. If I think of the name of it, I'll reach out to you and tell you. But there's another one that I can't think of what the name of it is right now. But you could eat a whole package and it's literally like 80 calories for the whole package. And it is mostly fiber. And it's kind of like ramen where, yeah, there you go. Kat knew what I was talking about. Shirataki noodles. And you can doctor them up. Sorry, y'all. You can doctor them up in such a way. You can use them in spaghetti. You can use them in whatever you want. And they don't taste any different than regular noodles. You know, less calories, a lot of fiber, you know, not nearly as much sodium. I can't eat it. Every damn one has a 1,800 milligrams of sodium. Well, and that's the thing too. Like after working in corrections for as long as I have, I used to tell guys, I'm like, look, you got to, I was like, I don't care if you eat the noodles, if you absolutely want the noodles, but you've got to do away with this, with the seasoning packet, because the seasoning packet is nothing but salt. And I've seen guys figure out how to doctor stuff in such a way that they be putting like mustard and like light soy sauce and, you know, all this other stuff in it, just flavor up their noodles. You know, you can figure out a way. You can leave that salt packet out and kind of doctor it up. It's entirely possible. Right. I can't say, I mean, here I am lecturing people on their salt intake and everything most of the time when I'm at work, but I love me some salt. I love salty food. Thankfully, I'm incredibly lucky. I don't have, even with the little bit of extra weight that I've got on me, I don't have to worry about high blood pressure. I actually am one of the types that my blood pressure runs perpetually low. So like when I don't feel well or something is hurting and everything, and they check my vitals, they're like, oh, your blood pressure looks great. It's 128 over 82. And I'm like, that's high for me. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, my blood pressure tends to be 108 over 64. And they're like, are you serious? And then they're kind of freaked out because here I am, I'm 5'10" and I'm 190 pounds. You know, I'm not a tiny, dainty little thing. So, you know, see, I haven't had pho or pad thai. I've had those noodles, those shirataki noodles, but it was basically like just regular. They were made with like regular Chinese, like a regular Chinese dish instead. But I don't even know if there's anywhere here locally that even has pad thai. I'd have to find out. I am always interested in learning and trying new things. Am I the only one that goes on kicks? Like right now, I'm addicted to oatmeal. No, you're not. I do the same thing. Girl, you know, right now I still got another 20 pounds left to get off of me from damn menopause. Be glad that ain't got a hold of you yet, baby. Let's see. Yeah, mine's always low, always. And my heart rate is always fast. You know, so people be looking at me crazy when they be trying to check my vitals, and they're like, I'm like, that's with caffeine on board, by the way. You know, have they be looking at me like, excuse me? You know, caffeine's a vasoconstrictor, and it makes your blood pressure go up. So if I'm 110 over 60, good gracious, little mama, you are shedding. Ugh. I got fuzzy girl hair all over now. I love you too. You're a good girl. What am I going to do with you? So yeah, people be like looking at me like I'm crazy. See, I hadn't been on a kick for oatmeal in a while because I have a real particular taste in oatmeal. I'm a maple brown sugar oatmeal chick. I can't do like regular oatmeal, if that makes sense. I've been on a shirataki kick the last month after 7 months without spaghetti on a weight loss goal of 100 pounds. They're a lifesaver if you know how to cook them right. Gross if not. I would love to get my hands on some and try them like at home as like a substitution. You know, I got to see if I can find some local. If not, I may have to order me some. The low BP award. Who'd you win that with? Mine is high end of normal with lisinopril. Well, hey, yeah, that's a good sign that your lisinopril is doing what it's supposed to do. I'll tell you what my current kick is. My current kick right now is Honey Nut Cheerios. Hi, Tarman. I'm doing good. How are you doing? It's good to see you. I'm surprised you ain't over there kind of scoping out Skinny Queen's chat since she's doing a rehash on the on the kitty napping. Holy shit, girl. What happened there? Sorry. Got tongue tied for a second. Really? I'm gonna have to take a I have got your hair everywhere. Good gracious, little woman. Okay, well, see, then that makes sense then. You got to start, Heather, you need to get you some electrolytes, some liquid electrolytes to put in your drinks so that you can drink a little bit of electrolytes every day so that you don't get dehydrated like that, chick. I ate a box of Honey Nut Cheerios dry as my YT snack last month. See me, I'll tell you what I'll be doing. I'll do it at breakfast, and then like anytime I want something sweet, I do Cheerios. You know, probably still not the best choice in relation to choices overall, but you know, still better than some other stuff I could pick, you know. Oh, okay. That'll work. Right. Well, see, and that was the thought process. I was just like, okay, they got fiber in them. Good for your cholesterol. Maybe I'll be all right. You know, you're fine. It's fine. Okay. So now that we done talked about the damn train, our resident train wrecks, y'all want to get into somebody new? Because, you know, we've been trying out new folks here. I found one who is on a weight loss journey. And she has previously lost 80 pounds using Weight Watchers. And she is actually starting over because she had a postpartum weight gain. Her name is Lauren Jansen. I just found her this afternoon. Yeah, see, those are great. Amazon and Walmart have Miracle Noodle and shiitake with oat fiber. Grocers have them in the organic food section. Ooh, I appreciate the heads up. I definitely want to try them. I just had to get used to eating breakfast, but having a new schedule helps a lot. Agreed. And that's another thing too about me telling you guys that I got this job on the weekends. It is going to be 16-hour days, but I'll be on a daytime person's schedule. So I'll be getting up at 5 a.m., coming home from work, going to bed, being in the bed by 10:30. So I will be on a perpetually daytime schedule now. I won't have to flip back and forth unless I choose to work like an agency shift somewhere along the way, because I'm not going to the nursing home during the day. I learned my lesson on that the 2 times recently that I inadvertently hemmed myself up. I ain't doing that ever again. Girl, this gonna sound ugly, but that mother needs her ass whooped. Okay? And every one of them grown-ass women that let a 5-year-old down in their hoo-ha to snatch the hair out of it, every one of them should have their asses handed to them too, because that was fucking disgusting. That was disgusting. You can't tell me that them grown women didn't know that was a 5-year-old down there snatching the hair out of their hoo-ha. And you allowed that. I'm sorry. They better be. Okay, this is going to be an unpopular opinion. Every single one of them women who knew that 5-year-old child was in there waxing somebody's hoo-ha, they should all be charged as sex offenders. Every single one of them. Hang on, y'all. We'll talk about, y'all want to talk about some drama. We'll talk about some. All right. We'll get into it. Here we are. Let's see. We're going to get into it now. Let's see. Here we go. This one is actually Fox 26 out of Houston. We'll talk about it. Y'all know, hey, we done had this conversation recently about dealing with the youngins because of that whole Kaya situation, but we'll get into it.
And thank you guys for staying up late with us. We have a great program and one that will have your bottom jaw dropping this first segment. Parents are supposed to have that natural instinct to protect and nurture their children. So what in the world allegedly went wrong in the city of Memphis? Police there are investigating an esthetician and a mother. Her name is online if you want to look it up. Investigators are looking into if she actually allowed her child to perform waxing services on the vaginal areas of grown women. Photos of the little girl working on clients have gone viral. It has left many people on social media shocked and disgusted.
Out of pocket is not even the right word for this situation because you just don't lost your mind. Or you just never had it to begin with. You wrong, but whoever those women are that paid this little girl to provide them services, everybody need to go to jail. Every last one of y'all. Because what?
It appears the mother has deleted her Instagram along with the original post where she praised her daughter $50 that day. Tennessee's version of CPS is also investigating. Joining us to talk about it, psychotherapist Dr. Nick Hardy.
We're going to pass on that. Hi, Cozy. Sorry, hon. I ain't mean to do that to you. You just come in at the wrong time. I agree, Leona. I mean, and my dad, girl, my dad be on me about working night shift all the time. He's like, yeah, it's bad for your mental health. Yeah, it's bad for your overall health. It's just this and that, whatever. But yeah, you see, beyond wrong. I don't care. First off, you a grown woman who's trained to do that. Why are you not doing it? Why are you letting a 5-year-old youngin be messing around in people's hoo-ha? Unpopular opinion, my ass. But here's the thing. I say that about it being an unpopular opinion because Heather, the girl that's in Girl World, who is married to a sex offender who was pimping children, still has people patting her on the ass and telling her, we're so glad you're still here. And they still give her views, give her money, give her time, attention. And they are like, oh, well, it wasn't you weren't the one that did it. It's not your fault. But that woman sat on the internet in front of God and everybody and said that there were no victims when he was pimping 14-year-old girls for years. So from 14 to like 17, he was pimping these little girls out. That would be why I say it's an unpopular opinion, because there's some crazy fuckers in Girl World that they're willing to let that shit go. So that's why I said that. Right. I can't understand that. What does that say about the type of people involved when you got folks going, well, she's just trying, she is 5 years old. Why are you trying to teach her how to do that? That. Right there. See, me and Kalari understand each other. I was 3 years, 9 months, and just 6 nights. I still struggle with it. Yeah. I've been nights for like most of the last 25 years. Okay. Now, I have had jobs that were day shift, and so long, like with the last county jail that I worked at, it was a daytime job. And once I got myself shifted to that, it was no problem. But going back to night shift was like going back to where I'd always been. It was almost an instantaneous switch. But because I keep a daytime schedule when I'm off, I don't think making the transition back to a daytime job is going to be quite so hard for me this time around. So got that going for me. And the way I figure it, doing things this way, by going to a daytime job again, I'll be able to stay. I'll be able to, because I ain't gonna tell you in a lie. I went off the damn fasting. I went off the fasting. I was doing so good. I hit a couple speed bumps, and it derailed my schedule. So now that I'm fixing to go back into that again, where I'm going to be up during the day all the time, and I won't have to worry about flipping back and forth so much, then I'll be able to get back onto the fasting and be back on a regimentation again. So hopefully that last little 20 that is nagging at me will be gone again. So, yeah, see, that's entirely different. That's entirely different. If you're talking about a family business and it's something that's non-invasive, like you're teaching them about how to, you're teaching them math by having them use the cash register. You're teaching them proper social interaction. You're teaching them responsibility, all of that stuff. That's fine. That makes sense to me. But you giving a 5-year-old toddler a wax strip and smacking their hand all up in the middle of somebody's hoo-ha, that's an entirely different scenario. There is nothing that can be said that can justify that. Exactly. There is absolutely a difference. I could maybe see if she was waxing legs, but even then she shouldn't be doing it in an official business situation. Agreed. Right. If mom wants to let her try it on her, cool. That makes sense to me, but don't do it with patience. I mean, what does that say about the level of unprofessionalism for her establishment that she's letting a 5-year-old wax people? I would be surprised. I mean, even her taking down all of her social media like they said that she did, I would not be surprised if she lost her ability to practice, because you have to be licensed to do that. I find I can only fast for so long. You need a break from it, I think. Well, it looks like me derailing myself, it is going to count as my break, because, I got to get back on it. This 20 pounds is bothering me. Yeah, my family believed in putting us to work. Us too. No, she wasn't. Absolutely that either. And it's just like, why? Girl, there is absolutely no telling. I've had me one. I've had me one. I have been off of routine for probably about 2 months or so. So if that ain't a long enough break, I'm gonna have to. I don't know what I'm gonna do. No, not in Canada. Legal age to work is 14. Otherwise, it's child labor law violation. Actually, it's the same way in the U.S. You're not Heather talking about her family putting people to work, and me saying that, and even Kalari. In the U.S., you can get away with certain things as long as you're not working for an actual business and you're not a actual registered employee. I mean, you can get away with sitting in the office and taking care of stuff in the office because you're not a paid employee. You're still working, but you're, not getting paid for it. And stuff like babysitting and mowing people's yards and stuff like that is still considered work. You're just not an on the books employee. Driving from Virginia to Detroit for an emergency assignment, trying to use talk to text and listen. But here I am. Hey, girl, keep them hands 10 and 2. Drive safe. We don't need nothing bad happening to you. Okay. Glad you're able to listen in though. And if talk to text acts crazy, I'm pretty sure we'll figure out what you were trying to say. So you're all good. Right. Gen X we got completely overlooked on all that. That's exactly where I was going. It's always confusing because every state seems different. For the most part, the labor laws are in relation to children are 16 to 18. You can only work part-time, I think. And anything below that, let's see. This says federal child labor law prohibits employment of minors in non-agricultural occupations under the age of 14. So, I mean, like if you're working, like if your family owns a farm, you can go out and do farm work and actually be paid for it. And that's legal. Restricts the hours and types of work that can be performed by minors under 16 and prohibits the employment of minors under the age of 18 for any hazardous occupation. And it says here that when you're 14 or 15, that you can't work any more than 15 hours a week, which is on school days, you can't work more than 3 hours a day. Let's see. You know, the current, basically what I'm seeing here is generally the standard is for you to be actually legal to work would be 14. But, you know, things that are like family business that are not, you know, family business or stuff that's like, it's not considered a full-time job, like, you know, delivering newspapers and stuff like that, you can get away with that a little bit younger. But you're not not a truly like registered part-time employee. You know, you're just kind of working, here and there mostly. Yeah, for Florida. I mean, mind you, that was for Florida. It gave it to me for Florida because that's where I'm at. So, yeah, you can't work past certain hours. Yep. We can't drive a car, but we can drive the hell out of some farm equipment. Right. Well, I think it depends. It just kind of depends on, I think what area, what type of work you're doing too. Yeah. Yeah. Waxing hoo-haws is definitely not covered. That's insane. That's insane to me. And as somebody who has no kids, who has raised one but not had any, I want to know what the Sam hell this woman's thinking in her mind to rationalize letting her 5-year-old stick their hand all up in a complete stranger's hoo-ha, not having any inclination in the slightest what kind of funk them ladies might have in a twat. Oh yeah. She was thinking, she did it. She made me $800. It's like, come on now. What in the world was you thinking? Right. Between the labor law violation and the OSHA violations involved, there's an ethics problem involved. You know what I mean? Because you've got somebody who's not licensed to do, because technically, if you'll think about it, that's a regulated area. Aesthetics is no different than any other sort of medical provided service. You know, there's regulation involved. Like I said, that's why I said if she manages to keep her licensure to be able to do this from here on, I'll be shocked. I will be shocked. Oh, man. It absolutely is appalling. It is fucking disgusting. I do not understand people. God. And I can just see the arguments. Right. And here's the thing. I can just see the arguments from the other side. Well, she's teaching her that she can make her own money, that she don't have to rely on a man, that she don't have to have a bunch of kids or whatever. You can hear, kind of subconsciously hear all the rationalization behind it without actually having to listen to it. You know what I'm saying? Because you know there are dumbasses out there that will find some sort of way to co-sign it. Right. I agree with you wholeheartedly. They probably have scabies in the 24 of them. I agree. And I mean, I'm of the understanding that the state requires licensure and all of those things because you have to have specific training to go along with that licensure, you know. Before I started working to stop trafficking, I used to investigate agricultural companies using migrant children on the West Coast. It was horrible. They kept them out of school to work. See, that to me. Okay. All right. We fixing to go all the way off the rails. Okay. All the way off. Y'all know I don't generally talk politics, but this is a lead into that area. Okay. I do not agree with that. Just like I don't agree with them having anybody undocumented working, because if something happens to them, the worker gets fucked, not the people that are hiring them. Okay. And our illustrious president just recently said that farmers and ranch owners should reach out to these people who are crossing the border to give them jobs working in agriculture so they have somebody to pick their crops for them. I'm not okay with that because it puts the worker at risk. It puts the owners of whatever business at risk. It's not okay. It's not okay for anybody involved. Just because, okay, yeah, your crops get picked, and yes, okay, you're paying this person. The people that are getting paid under the table are not being paid appropriately for the work that they're doing, number one. Number two, their rights to actually have a safe working environment are not protected. So there's a lot of things wrong with that entire conversation. And I don't see why anybody in their right mind would be like, oh, yeah, let's just have them go out and work picking crops. Excuse me. Good gracious, y'all. Dang, I hope mom at least supervised closely. What if the kid comes up with herpes or fungal infections on her hands? That's an excellent point, SH. But from what we saw, mama was too busy taking pictures to actually be looking. So I don't even know. STIs are a big problem since 2020. Gonorrhea eyes for all. Poor kid. Oh, yikes. Right. I'm sorry. I can't agree with that. I can't agree with that either. I'm going to sound like a whole asshole, but I don't agree with that. There's a lot of stuff that okay. I am not Republican. I am not Democrat. If I were anything, if I had to label myself, I would probably fall into the libertarian umbrella. You want to get right down to it. Okay. And well, see, and that's the thing. That's the stuff like that. Stuff like that. I mean, right now we have so many things that are going on that need to be fixed that are not being fixed, and we're completely avoiding them, thinking, oh, well, it's going to be all right. It's not going to be all right. I said that earlier when we were talking about the COOF. The COOF shined a bright, harsh light on everything wrong with the healthcare system, and nothing is changing. If anything, it's getting worse. And then you've got stuff like this right here. Super gonorrhea and super STDs rolling around, collapsing infrastructure. We've got a shit ton of problems across the board, and nothing is being done to fix them. We're too busy playing school teacher, and we're playing teacher in the schoolyard, trying to wag our finger at everybody else when our classroom full of kids is about to burn the building down. I mean, it don't make no sense to me, you know. If she had her greeting clients or taking appointments, that'd be fine. I agree. That's kind of like what we were talking about with Heather. I mean, Heather's family has owned that business for decades, and Heather was working in the office and writing receipts and answering phones and putting stuff in the computer system. I mean, but it didn't like Heather was out taking people's carburetors out of their car. I mean, she could, but I mean, didn't nobody see her doing it. You know what I mean? I'm not political, just opinionated. Right is right and wrong is wrong. I mean, and that's where a lot of the issue lies. There's a lot of differentiating opinion on what's right and what's wrong. And we've got to figure out some kind of like middle ground on that to even have that sort of discussion. You know what I mean? I think it's pretty safe to say that one thing that everybody can agree on right now is that we're paying more for food, we're paying more for gas, we're paying more for housing and insurance and everything else. And we are killing ourselves to try to meet our most basic minimum requirements. And we shouldn't have to do that. That I think we can all agree on, if that makes sense. I agree. I can agree with you on that. Totally fine. Of course, it's wrong. When a man can buy erection pills cheaper than a type 1 diabetic can buy insulin, then that's a problem. I agree with you there, 100%. No question. Girl, you done heard me go in on some stuff. And I'm sorry, another one, going back to our Ozempic and our Wegovs and our semaglutides, Monjovia or whatever the hell. If you are not obese, then your ass shouldn't be taking weight loss medication. Get your ass out for 45 minutes a day and walk your ass around your house. You don't need to be on no medication to help you drop the last 20 pounds you got to lose. And I say that as somebody who's got 20 pounds left to lose, and I ain't fixing to take nothing to help me do it. I'm fixing to work it off. I mean, people have gotten too comfortable with things being done the easy way. Anything that's going to be worth having or is going to have any long-term permanence is not going to be done the easy way. It's just not. And it's just, overall, it just irks the hell out of me. Hi, Gail. I agree with you on that, Kathy. I mean, I've said it before. Long-term weight loss success is a battle won in the kitchen. It is all about what you put in. It's all about what you put in your mouth. You know? Yeah, everyone's quality of life is at risk right now. So many just barely surviving. Tribalism in camps really seem less important when it's a struggle to survive and eat. Agreed. And that's part of the reason why, like, I don't get into that. I don't get into any of that, you know? And it doesn't make any sense to me at all. And right now, that seems to be the entire goal of a lot of people who have voices that are listened to, is they are causing the tribalism and perpetuating the tribalism. And for me, that's not okay, because even though I may not agree with somebody, it doesn't mean I hate them. And it doesn't mean that I can't find some level of understanding with them and them with me, you know? I'm so glad you see you picking up what I'm putting down, Fed. My daughter had a heart monitor on her heart. Was at 163. She's only 24. Now she has to see a cardiologist. Well, okay. Let me ask you this, Gail, just so we know. When was the last time she had lab work done? Because if her iron levels are low, okay, see, well, that could be some of it. Another thing that they may want to check her for too is check her iron levels and her ferritin levels, because if your iron level can be relatively normal, but if your ferritin level is low, then that means you're having a binding problem for your iron. You may get enough iron in, but you're not binding it to the cell nearly as much. So see if they check that, and if they didn't, have them check that too, just to cover all the bases, because I was having that problem in my heart rate. I did a stress test, and they had to stop me after 10 minutes because my heart rate got to 164, and they thought I was going to faint. And come to find out, that's all it was. I was having trouble absorbing iron like I was supposed to. But, you know, cover all them bases, girl. Check everything. Don't hurt to check everything. Not gonna lie, I would go for some speedy diet pills, but I don't want to mess with hormones or anything unless it's the only option left. I agree with that. I mean, I could see, you know, honestly, doing like a short-term sort of like speedy type of diet pill, just to kind of give you a like to jumpstart things, but not something permanent, you know. But it would actually it would actually be a good idea just to do that temporarily rather than relying wholeheartedly on it and making changes to your diet while you're on them so that you can get yourself in a groove, you know. Oh, good. Hopefully they're going to look into everything and give you guys an idea of what's going on. It's a distraction created to keep us from focusing on how things are severely digressing in this country. It's not hard. Hey, it is getting almost impossible to not see it now. It is so glaringly obvious. It's wild. Yeah, her electrolytes and everything are out of whack, and the salt and the Gatorade will help with that. Pedialyte's another good one too, if she wants some options aside from the Gatorade. Also, Ozempic and Wegovy are causes for stomach paralysis. Well, I mean, there's that, and then you have the semaglutide overall. All of those varying brand medications, they all have semaglutide as their base to it. And I mean, I've talked about it, you know, what that does. The stomach paralysis thing, Wegovy actually, and Ozempic and all that stuff, it slows down the peristalsis. Like you're in your belly and in your digestive tract, you've got all these little finger flagella, and their whole purpose is to move and squish and process that food and slide it on down through the intestines and out your body. And whenever they put that Ozempic on board, it slows it down. So it's real, instead of being like this, like it always is, it starts to slow down and it's real sluggish. And it means that the food actually stays in the stomach for longer. And when you start screwing around with stuff like that, then, you know, you have the potential for really nasty side effects like the gastroparesis. I'm going to try a supplement called berberine to see if it helps. I've actually heard really good things about berberine, that it's good for your heart, it's good for your brain, helps regulate your blood sugars, helps you drop weight, all that stuff. So, definitely give it a try. It certainly can't cause you any harm, especially since, it's an over-the-counter type of supplement versus something injectable like Ozempic and all them that come with a crap ton of side effects. Oh, okay. Well, maybe hopefully it'll be something relatively easy to fix, Gail. I'm hoping so. For me, it's the several years to lifelong commitment to it. Losing weight isn't easy at all, but it is doable. These drugs make people think it's not in their control, and that's what's concerning. Well, that's the deal. They don't. It had to me. Well, that's the thing. It is ultimately with the medications like your Ozempic and your Wegovy and the Mounjaro and all that stuff. It would require a lifelong use, because as soon as you come off of it, all of that weight comes back. That's already been shown. That's if you're lucky enough not to end up having major health consequences from taking the medication. And, but I mean, I could understand taking some sort of medicinal intervention temporarily until you make those sustainable changes to your diet and your lifestyle choices, because it is entirely possible. I mean, I'm not much of an example, but, had the weight loss surgery, went through the recovery process, and was slowly making changes to the way that I do everything. And the diet that I was on 20 years ago, high protein, low carb, no sugar, is still the diet that I function by right now. And this has been 25 years later. The only reason I even gained any weight back is because the hormones and the pause smacked the holy moly out of me, You have to create a healthy lifestyle that helps you at a healthy weight and fit. True. Agreed. Yeah, a little bit of help here just to get you started and to kick things off in the right direction is absolutely great. And I don't mind that, but being wholeheartedly relying upon something that's not going to go well. It reduces muscle mass and fat mass and caps at 20%, 25% of starting weight. It's not worth the cost. No, I agree with you on that. Based on what I've heard. Yeah, some people will take it for months and only lose like 5 pounds. It's really wild. I believe I do, Gail. Hang on. Let me double check myself. I believe I do. I have a tendency to shuffle things around into folders so that I don't yeah, I still got you. I got you, Gail. No problem. I'm gonna check in with you and check back in with you and see how everything's going. I just wanted to make sure that I had it before I said anything. Y'all, mental health is so important though through all the weight loss too. Yes, absolutely. I agreed. There is absolutely a correlation, but what I think a lot of people don't really put together is they think, oh, well, I'm going to do this because I'm going to lose weight and it's going to make me feel good. But that's not the only reason why, you feel good after you lose weight, because, you get that serotonin and dopamine hit from doing the activity. And the more you do, the better off you are, and the more of a positive effect it has on your mental health. And obviously you're going to have those days where you derail because you're in a bad headspace, and that makes perfect sense. You just got to pick yourself back up and pick back up when you can. You know what I mean? After my family had me on Metabolife, I don't mess with diet, supplements, balanced eating, and exercise is what worked for me. Well, Metabolife was something. I'm sorry you had a bad experience with it though, because I do know a couple people that it did help out. It is, and as is being informed, but a lot of people don't want to take the responsibility on and learn for themselves. Easy to pay Weight Watchers or pharma for a fix. That's true. That's very true. It absolutely can, but I'm gonna tell you, yeah, hey, Laurie said it. Heather, how many times have you seen me knock myself down into the dirt and then finally get to a point where I'm just like, I'm so tired of feeling like this. And the only option that I had was to claw myself back up. There are times where you're just like, I don't want to fucking do it, but I got to do it because I'm tired of feeling this way. Hell, I know better than everybody that, starting over is hard. I done learned that from experience. It works, but in many regions, when they end Weight Watchers, it does not teach the basics, just teaches people to stay within points. That's true. What's that? Actually, it's funny that you brought up Weight Watchers. This woman that I found that's on Lifestyle thing, I actually found a weight loss vlog that's not being run by a lol cow. This woman's on Weight Watchers, and apparently she had lost 80 pounds previously with Weight Watchers. And she's back on it now because she had some postpartum weight gain. She seems to be a nice lady. She's just really loud. Oh yeah, I know, but well, if you'll think about it, it does. Oh look! I am Cornholio. Okay, sorry, bad joke. Right. And that's the deal. That's the deal about it too. If I was just fixing to say, even though it is point system based, take a look at like all their free foods, the ones that are really lower pointed. It's all healthy foods, carrots, lettuce, tomatoes, all that stuff. It's the stuff that's healthier for you. So they are trying to sort of help subconsciously train you into eating healthier choices and to limit the stuff that's less healthy for you. So, I guess, if you'll think on it, it could technically work in kind of retraining your brain, but it just depends, I guess, on the person. Didn't Oprah buy Weight Watchers and then lose her recent weight gain? Yes, she did. That's exactly what happened. Not that she really needed to lose any of that extra weight. I mean, I'm sorry, but when you get to middle age, there's some weight gain is going to happen. But then you won't fail and come back to the program. It is true. That I can agree with you on that. Well, we laughed with Cornholio when my daughter was growing up. Use a giggle word. Actually, do you remember the doctor in Lake Park that was charging $250 a week for B12 shots, and his diet was don't eat anything white and starts with the letter P? No, I didn't know that. I don't think I heard about that. And if you'll think about it, I mean, some of what he is saying makes total sense. I mean, number one, you don't need the B12 shots. You can just stay away from anything white and you'll be fine. I mean, Heather, that's what Mom used to tell people. She said, when it comes to your eating habits, you're going to have to learn to be racist. She said, you can't have anything white. No potatoes, no potatoes, no white bread, no white rice, no processed sugar. People would look at her like she's insane. And she's like, just trust me. Just trust me. You make these changes, it will make a difference. And people, and she would go on that whole spiel with like the diabetics, and they would come back to her and be like, oh my God, I substituted my white bread for whole wheat bread. And I stopped eating potatoes and I started eating wild rice and this and that and brown rice. And yeah. And their levels would be better within a couple of months. I mean, not drastically huge, but still an improvement, And Mom would be like, yep, you gotta keep doing it, That's going to lead to some angry women at home. Well, I know, but such is the way of the world. It's really heartbreaking that nutrition education isn't more available in schools and easily accessible to adults as well. Our healthcare spending would go down. I agree. And actually, there's a lot of discussion about like our healthcare system versus other healthcare systems, especially in girl world. With girl world, you've got the American system versus the Canadian system. Well, one that's not really talked about at length is the UK health system. The UK health system is kind of an NIH sort of system, kind of like Canada. But from what I found out, there are subtle differences as opposed to the US. In the US, we are paid based on how much we do to you, how many medications you're on, how much we're treating you. Whereas in, kind of sort of the same way in Canada. But then in the UK, the system and the doctors are paid based on how healthy you are. So if I went to the doctor and I said, hey, look, do my physical for me, and they're like, oh, well, everything's great. You're just 20 pounds overweight and you need to quit vaping. If I quit vaping, the doctor gets paid more because I've quit vaping. If I lost 10 pounds between that first visit and the next visit, the doctor gets paid more because I've lost 10 pounds. So because I'm healthier and I've added to the longevity of my life, the provider is rewarded for helping me and to attain a better level of health. So, that to me, that I could see making sense. But instead, our system here in America is purely capitalistic. It's not about making sure people have fuller, healthier lives. It's about, what can we charge you for? It's really kind of sad. I did an old Weight Watchers track. I got an old Weight Watchers tracker out, some pocket computerized gadget, and I can't make sense of it. 9 years later, you have to look up the cheat sheet for it. I never counted a calorie before July 2023. Macros, never heard of her. The info is out there and can be used if people can discern the basics and learn to manage cravings. That's quite true. Quite true. And I'll tell you what I have learned recently, that I was just like, okay, well, I'm already on this sort of, so let's keep going. That, in order to lose weight without having to do an insane like an insane amount of working out or whatever, the more protein that you get into your diet, the better off you are in relation to weight loss, because your body has more sustainable fuel source. You're not having the peaks and troughs in your blood sugars and all that stuff. So, and in the macros, you can do a macro recommendation. For that. Let me see. Macros. Let's see. Heather, help me. Am I 45 or am I 44? I'm going to say 44. Never mind. Don't help me. Little to no. Let's say weight. Let's say weight loss of 1 pound a week. Calculate. Okay, let me show y'all. Quick and easy little cheater's way of doing it. You can go on to look this page up, calculator.net. Put in your age. Oh, I didn't calculate that right. Okay. Let's see what other settings we got. Height, weight, what current activity level I'm at. You know, I put that as sedentary just automatically right off the bat, just because, you know, I hadn't been going to the gym. I got to work. I got to fix that. And I want to have a weight loss of 1 pound a week. And this is saying that I got to have 86 grams of protein a day, 188 carbs a day, 40 grams of fat a day, less than 30 grams of sugar, and less than 16 grams of saturated fat, with a total food energy calorically of 1,400 calories a day. Now, if I wanted to do high protein, which will give me the same, if you'll look at it there, between balanced and high protein, which I'm trying to stick to high protein, same calorie total, 1,400, but I would be at 120 grams a day. So, way I figure it, I'm already kind of on the higher side. See, I'm more on a low carb at this point. I'm not getting 103 grams of protein a day, but I'm fixing to jack up to the high protein and start hitting more toward the higher protein, the 120. I know I have trouble remembering, girl. The last few years have kind of all run together. Right, it absolutely does. That's because you was doing the damn thing, Kat. Proud of you. Y'all know I am all about it. I want every one of us to be as healthy as we can possibly be. Well, actually, let me see. Let me see if there's, well, I mean, I looked at that at one point, and it was ridiculously priced. I mean, ridiculous. Not without it being in one of them frozen joints like Factor. Is that local? Let's see. Oh yeah, that is local. All right then. Registered dietitian. All right, let's see. Let's see what the menus are here. Okay, see, I'm too picky of an eater. I'll show y'all this. Okay. Menus, you got breakfast dish of oats and Greek yogurt and blueberries. Signature dishes, stuffed bell pepper, quinoa toasted chicken parm with zoodles, Greek salad, feta jar. You got protein banana egg pancakes, Hawaiian chicken with quinoa and green beans, salsa pork tenderloin with black beans and mixed green salad, chicken cacciatore with zucchini and brown rice, protein berry muffins, chopped black bean and turkey taco salad jar, pork tenderloin with mango salsa and mashed sweet potatoes, oatmeal, Greek yogurt, blueberry jar. See, that to me, I am incredibly picky on what I eat. I mean, no offense, but I don't like blueberries. I'm not a fan of blueberries, not really. I'll eat them, but I'm not crazy about them. I don't really do pork, you know. Like I said, I'm real particular about my oatmeal. It just depends. Wait, let's see what that one is. See, 50 grams of protein. Shut up. I don't want that. 48 grams of protein, 48 grams of protein, 49 grams of protein, 32, 49. That's taters. Quit it. Potatoes and potatoes. I don't even see how that's possible, but okay. Pineapple stir fry, homestyle meatloaf, bison burger, chimichurri steak, 40, grilled pesto chicken salad, 60 grams of protein. But these, I think, are all ones that you pick them out and they're like heat up type of deal. I don't know. I'm going to figure something out, though. Walmart does a service called e-meals. It's pretty awesome. I may have to look into that. I don't know, Leona. I have heard a lot of people, obviously there's a lot of people advertising Factor, but I don't know. I still haven't used my mason jars. My in-laws got me a case of them just to make the breakfast each morning instead. Well, that wouldn't really be bad. See, I'm more of a strawberry person, I don't mind blueberries, and I'm actually going to get a blueberry plant because I'd like to have one, but I'm going to have to figure out a couple of different ways to use them or pass them off to my neighbors or something, like if I have a lot, because I eat them. I prefer other things in place of, the hospital got me into cream of wheat, which is good for my iron levels. I've never been able to get into cream of wheat. We only did dinners. Breakfast is usually overnight oats or breakfast burritos. And honestly, I didn't have time for lunch most days. Well, that's because you managing all them psychotic men at that shop, girl. That's why. No offense, but those are giving me major Chantal mukbang vibes. What you mean that's giving you mukbang vibes? You talking about the prepackaged meals or that meal prep service? Emails with Walmart pickup. Let's see. Those meals, right. Well, I can kind of see that, because like the pork, stuff like that, I'm just like, See, I've got the stuff to do protein pancakes, and those I kind of like. And then I have protein Pop-Tarts. Like if I don't want to go through the whole rigmarole, yeah, right. I see, makes perfect sense. If I don't feel like going through the whole rigmarole of making pancakes, because like 2 or 3 pancakes is equal to a serving, I can do a Pop-Tart, throw it in the microwave for 20 seconds, and that protein Pop-Tart has 20 grams of protein in it by itself. So I have options, and then I always have like fruit or something with it. Like I have told y'all I had to buy me a dragon fruit tree because I love me some dragon fruit, but dragon fruit, grapes, that like strawberry peanut butter smoothie sort of thing, something to go with it. Which one are you using? Because the one that I'm using is God, what brand is that? It's the one that's got the cow on it. But it's lactose free, and you can get it in like all of the different fat levels. Really good stuff. The Walmart emails does the shopping for you, which is important to me because I have limited selection. That's exactly what I'm using. I feel you, girl. That stuff's actually really good. I was surprised. And it's a hell of a lot better calorically too, but you still get all the calcium and the good fats and stuff. So that's awesome. I eat about 150 grams of protein, very little carbs, and can't eat a lot of processed food. Can't do a delivery since I move around often. I have an electric ice chest in my truck and mini hotel fridge. Hey, you work with what you got, Fed. You work with what you got, girl. You kind of live in a trucker's lifestyle if you think about it, but there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you can find a way. I see another thing I like to do, like in place of oatmeal too, is I like to do vanilla Greek yogurt and just like a little bit of granola and some sliced up strawberries. Good stuff. Yes, it does. I mean, a single bottle of that stays good for like a month. I was like, man, that's amazing. Best thing ever. See, and that's kind of where I'm at. I'm kind of I'm fixing to start aiming past where I'm at now, which is between that 100 and 150. Let's see what Heather's talking about with this right here. Select a family size. Let's say slow cooker, quick and healthy, low carb, low calorie, keto, heart healthy, clean eating. Let's say clean eating. Let me take that off. I don't want to dox myself. All right, we'll add it back to here. Yeah, you can. It just depends on which place you go to. I mean, I'm not a big prawn fan. I mean, I'm more of a crab and a shrimp gal myself. But yeah, there's a lot of places here where you can get really good seafood. It just depends on what your preference is. I mean, if you want the higher quality, I forgot. Don't pay no attention. See, you said prawns, and I automatically start thinking about crawdads. That's what came to my mind. It wasn't your fault. It was my fault. I don't do. See, crawdads kind of gross me out a little bit. I mean, obviously. See. Yep. Yes, we know you're a sharmuta for the oysters. We know. Ideally, I mean, depending upon the quality, obviously, if you want the higher quality stuff, you're going to go to a higher quality restaurant, which means you're going to pay out. But just depends on what it is, Well, and I know. First off, I got to say, I absolutely love y'all's accent. It is so charming. It's just, I am a redneck Southern hick who don't call things by proper names, really. So it's more my fault than yours, honey. I mostly hate exercising still, but I make myself do it, and I'm always happy afterward that I did. Maybe it'll grow on me someday. Getting started is the hardest part every time. Okay, once I'm going. See, and that's the deal. Like, a way I figure it is that even as something as simple as if I can start walking more, you know what I mean? That's got to be better than nothing. But my biggest issue right now is I want to get back into the gym and start doing weightlifting again, because, you build more lean mass. It makes it easier for your body to kick up the metabolism, and it helps to boost. I I done got myself all turned around. You build lean mass, which boosts your metabolism, which means, your body is better regulating in relation to the foods that you do eat. So, well, thank you. I'm so glad you do. I love scallops too, the little bay scallops and Alfredo. It was amazing. Girl, I already told you, you and little rattlesnake need to come down here. We'll make a whole time of it. I was grateful the hospital let me walk. Hubby bought my earbuds and phone, and I walked the halls. Hey, that's good for you, girl. They were probably happy to see you up and about because most people won't. I can't wait till we put the pull-up. Swimming is the exercise that melts the fat, the most fat off me. Well, hey, girl, I don't blame you. Actually, I did not know this, but the college has pool, like Olympic pool. I guess Olympic pool. I ain't seen it yet. Available in the workout center for the students. I'm fixing to have to make that a regular part of my thing too. It's more so you don't lose muscle when losing weight. It's really hard to build muscle mass. Well, I'm the type of person, Kat, that I'm one of those people that I will literally go to the gym like 5 out of a 7-day period and will put myself through it to make sure that I gain muscle. Even though I know it's probably not the wisest idea, but I think I'm not like trying to be like a bodybuilder or nothing like that. I just do want to build more muscle mass because obviously I had some built up and then the coof shut everything down and all of that has went away, so I just feel like a puny little snot, and I'm tired of feeling puny. Heather, are you doing the annual or the 3-month? I figure weight training will mean I won't need skin surgery. At least that's what I tell myself. Well, it definitely can't hurt. For sure, I do it for excess skin I have now, but now it's hard to do when losing weight. I need to send you a video of the Wiki watching mermaids while she was in the tank about that. Oh my Lord. Girl, you upload that and it's probably gonna go viral, right? Okay. I may have to do that, start out with the 3 and just see what it gives me because all right, I've got the login stuff set up. I'm gonna have to stop and sit down and take a look at it and filter through it and see what options it gives me. Because you know how I am, y'all. I've talked about it enough. I'm one of those types that I'll make stuff and like prep like 4 or 5 servings of it so that I have stuff kind of laid out. And maybe I would be able to do that with them too, but we'll have to see. Okay, here I'll put the comment back on the screen, Kat. She went to a place called WikiWatchy. Okay, let me show you WikiWatchy. There's a place in WikiWatchy called the WikiWatchy Mermaid Show. It's a water park and all those other things together. Oh, it's not your video? I thought you were saying it was your video. But apparently somebody at WikiWatchy caught one of the girls in a mermaid suit tooting in the water tank. Right, same. WikiWatchy is a town. Not that. Wiki-washy. It's a state park, actually. I'm sorry. It's a state park in Spring Hills, Florida. Girl, hey, you're getting like crash course and welcome to Florida. I don't think I've ever been. Heather, you missed it. I think you missed the conversation that I had the last live. And I'm going to offer it to you because Kayla has not gotten back to me on either of these. Okay? All right? And if you want to go to one or both, you tell me because it would be nice to have a ride or die with me. Okay? Creed is touring again. They're going to be in Jacksonville. And Limp Bizkit is going to be in Tampa. Would you like to go see either of them with me? I mean, you talking about high school throwback days. What you think? Yeah, Florida Man games all day long. I had a feeling you'd say that. Hi, Fiona's mom. It's been a minute. How you doing, sweetie pie? I'll ask about the wiki-watchy farting mermaids if I ever see Florida. Sounds like a combo starter. Girl, hang on. Let's see. I got to see it. Uh-oh. Exit. Okay, well, they got some videos of different shows, but hang on, let's look. I couldn't find one. Girl, we had more Todd. We had Todd in high school. We didn't have Scotty. Todd was the one that we were stuck with. Scotty was in school with Damien. Hi, Heidi. How are you, honey? All right, just for those of y'all that are not familiar with the wiki-watchy thing, because I'm not, we can watch us a mermaid
Hi,
show.
I'm Mermaid Amanda, and today I'm taking my novice test.
She's a pretty girl.
So for my novice test, I'm going to do a few skills. The first one's going to be a math drop. Then I'm going to practice buoyancy. After that, I will do a ballet combo on the spot, so I won't know what the ballet combo is before I even do it. I'll also do a set of pikes and pinwheels on one breath, and then I'll swim the length of 5 windows on surface air. I just want to thank all my trainers for helping me get this far. I'm really excited to take my novice.
Let's jump to it. That's actually kind of cool. I got to give it to him. Well, I guess technically it can be Cat. There we go. We're gonna kick to where she's in her actual. There she is in her little getup. That's kind of cool. Okay, I gotta hand it to him. That's kind of cool. I don't think I could ever. Fiona's mom, I am actually really good. Yeah, I kind of went off the rails for a little bit. Was in a bad headspace for a little while, but I am definitely back on track. And things are going a lot better than they were. even though today is technically not a good day, I am doing everything I can to push through it. So, just kind of trying to roll with the punches, but I want to wish you a big old happy birthday. I'm not going to sing you the birthday song, not the regular birthday song. I'm going to sing you the second half of the birthday song that nobody ever sings. All right. So, of course, happy birthday to you. Okay. I hope you get some tonight. I hope you get some tonight. I hope you get some cake and ice cream. I hope you get some tonight. There you go. Happy birthday, Fiona's mom. Let's see. It absolutely is. Side note, Heather, I know you were real late coming in. Today's 2 years. I don't know if you saw any of that on Facebook or not. I'm so glad you like it. I'm so glad you like it. Because Heather, I'm gonna text it to you. Oh, okay. I thought you were saying what day. What day is it? Don't pay no attention to me. Yeah. So, yeah. I'm trying not to let it get the better of me. You know what I mean? I know, and I love you too. And I know she would be, but still not the same thing, Yes, ma'am. Yeah. I'm sorry that fell on today, Fiona's mom. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Yes, actually, I did. I did. And that's actually part of, what prompted me to get on. Because I was like, you know what? This week has been so good. Today has been going so well. The BBJ, salvation anniversary, was like, I was like, today is going so well. And I don't want to get into a funk. I don't want to get in a bad headspace and be caught up in how today applies to me. So we're fixing to just not even go there. And I was like, y'all, let's just hang out. And I'm going to be so busy after I get off of here until I do finally go to bed that I am hoping that I will not get myself in a bad headspace. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying so hard to stay away from it. It's easy. I was already in a bad headspace earlier in the week, I am too, because I would really rather talk to you guys than just be sitting here by myself mulling through everything. I know. No. Okay. Y'all, for those of y'all that don't know, Krusty Kitty here, she's a late entry to Girl World. Okay. She is not familiar with all of the characters in the foodie sphere or in, the ALR verse and all that stuff. Heather, BBJ, it was one of Foodie Beauty's cats. Okay. No, it's fine. Before Foodie Beauty moved to Kuwait, she had 2 cats, Sam and BBJ. BBJ was the older of the 2, a female cat, and Sam was a male cat. And what ended up happening is Foodie was basically neglecting her to the point of full-on abuse. She wasn't cutting her nails. She wasn't taking her to the vet. She wasn't feeding her properly. This poor little cat would be limping around the house, crying out in pain, and she would just throw, right, she's technically a Bambi, right? She would just throw treats at her whenever she would get loud, whenever she would make noise and stuff. Right. She had them living in squalor. She wouldn't clean their litter box. The roommates, the roommate, Foodie's roommate, had a cat that was locked in his bedroom that had feline leukemia that never went to the vet, and the poor cat just died in his room unexpectedly because they weren't taking care of their animals. So FFG is a Girl World reaction channel. And she also, her name is French Fried Girl. Agreed. French Fried Girl and everybody in Girl World had tried to get her to give the cat to one of the people out here because she was talking about having this poor cat put down, because she did not want to have to bother with rehoming her. Now, the male one, she made sure to rehome him because it's a boy cat. She loved that one. But this little female cat, she was an elderly cat. She started starving the cat. She still continued to not take it to the vet and was talking about having it put down. Well, French Fried Girl is Foodie's nemesis. The two of them absolutely despise each other. And what ended up happening, originally French Fried Girl offered outright, she says, I will give you $3,000 for the cat, and I will sign a non-disclosure agreement if you will let me have her. Foodie's response was, I will kill that cat before I ever let her have that cat. From there, all bets were off. And she starts talking about, I'm going to take her for an end-of-life consultation. I'm going to have her put down. She tortured her audience with that for weeks. FFG came up with a fake name and started talking to her on Instagram and got her to give the cat away. Okay. French Fried Girl sent her brother to pick up the cat. It's his brother's cat now. It's her brother's cat, and her brother and her sister-in-law's cat now. Well, after they saved BBJ and got BBJ away from Foodie, they took this poor little cat to the vet, and 5 of this cat's nails were so long that they were grown into the pads of her paws. Come to find out, she was so matted that it was actually tearing skin at certain places. She had raging kidney disease that she had already, was already known about, but she never followed up on. Her ears were so disgusting and full of crap that she was having trouble hearing, and Foodie was like, oh, her ears stink and she's got bald spots and she's just deaf because she's old. It was awful. Yes, it was awful. She actually said she would rather rehome BBJ to a wood chipper than let FFG have her. But this today, a year ago today, the BBJ rescue went into place, and Foodie Beauty found out all about it, and she lost her ever-loving shite on live stream for the whole wide world to see. Hang on. I initially said I wasn't going to talk about this, but I reckon we're going to get into it. Let's see. Wait. Oh, wait. God bless Marley. All right. We're gonna give old girl Heather crash course in BBJ rescue real quick, y'all. All right. This one is shout out to Marley Hendricks doing the Lord's work out here compiling shit. All right, let's do this. This was the video. This right here is the video that Chantal put up, that Foodie Beauty put up, trying to show where she gave the cat away. She has since taken it down and has claimed that French Fry Girl stole the cat.
Hi, BBJ. Poop scoop. Going in. You're gonna miss her?
That's the roommate that had his cat locked in his room. And he's a piece of shit too.
I'm glad to be ready.
Bye, BBJ.
If ever, there's any questions, I'm really.
Bye, sweetie. I'm gonna miss you so much, but I'm gonna get updates all the time. Yeah.
Well, hello there, girl gang. What up, everybody? How you doing? I hope everybody's good. Thank you all, for being here tonight. It's so good to see you. So that's the story. That's the video. BBJ has been handed off and given to someone else. The door closes, and that's where the video ends. The story ends. Anyone want to know what happened when the door closed? Because I can give you the perspective from the other side of the door if anyone's curious what exactly happened there when that door closed. And who could have been the mystery man at the bottom of those stairs? Let me tell you something. Chantal has a sibling, and I have a sibling. She has a sister. I have a brother. Her sister would kill her if given the chance. My brother is always down to do ratchet shit with me. Just so we understand the difference between, siblings and siblings here. So that, everybody, was my brother at the bottom of that staircase. French fried bro coming through, getting BBJ. Well, your girl Frenchie was not far away with full disguise on, like a fucking sociopath, but that's neither here nor there. The point is, BBJ is in the familia now. We'll put it that way, okay? Am I keeping BBJ, in my home? No. I'm not a cat person. I have a dog. It's just not my thing. But BBJ is in the familia now. As Chantal told everybody, it was a beezer. A beezer who got BBJ, who worked on her for BBJ. A beezer? Maybe. A double agent? Somewhat. My sister-in-law? Abso-fucking-lutely. So listen, this is the deal. BBJ, I can assure everybody, is just fine, or as fine as a cat who had 1 hour to live can be. BBJ was rescued at 1:30 yesterday afternoon, and at 2:30, Chantal had the appointment at the vet with the cat. It's an hour, but we got her. We got her. She had her nails clipped. BBJ had 5 nails growing into the pads of her feet today. 5 nails. It was extremely painful what she had to go through today at the vet. Extremely painful. It was, I'm not going to try to make this all about me, but it was a traumatic fucking day today. I go to the vet. They fit us in an emergency appointment because there are nails growing into her feet. So we go to the vet. All the rooms were occupied because they're just fitting me in, except for the room where fucking Ollie was put down. And it's the first time I go back in that room. And it was the technician. One of the technicians was the technician who was there that day. Anyway, I'm already a wreck. We're in that room. Now they've clipped the nails that didn't embed into her feet. And they tell me now to get the ones out that are embedded, they were deeply embedded. It's going to be painful for her. So it took 3 vet techs today. They had to put the cone, the plastic, I call it the cone of shame, onto little BBJ.
Absolutely.
3 of them. 2 holding her down and 1 clipping the nails. BBJ was screaming at the top of her lungs. It was horrific to listen to. So bad. I was bawling my eyes. I was losing my shit. I had my hand on the bench for little Ollie. Anyway, I'm listening to the cat screaming at the top of her lungs. It was so bad that a vet from a room, another exam room, came and knocked on the door is everything okay in here? It was so bad. But she went through it like a fucking champ. Let me tell you, the vets today said they couldn't believe her age. They said, wow, she is good for her age. She's on antibiotics now. How can I explain? BBJ was walking funny before going to the vet today. She was walking funny. On the carpets, she was okay, but as soon as she would go, her feet onto the wood floors, you could see the way she was, teetering just from side to side, clearly in pain. I brought her back from the vet. She's just, walking on the wood floors. Immediate difference.
And this was Foodie Beauty's response.
To bring me back BBJ or Amy Flowers, you're going to be doxxed, okay? The person who's supposed to have BBJ is Amy Flowers. She went way too fucking far. And people think this is okay. It's okay to do this to someone else. Steal someone's cat.
Nobody stole anyone's cat. Amy is my sister-in-law, and Amy absolutely has BBJ. I don't want a cat. Everybody knows I don't want a cat. But it's my absolute pleasure to pay the bills for the cat's vet. What's the problem?
We could tell you a whole story about
this is harassment. So you have until tomorrow morning to bring me back my cat, or else I'm calling the police. And you will, because I did not give you the cat. You are my stalker. Yes, it's my cat, Babs. Goodbye. I didn't give it to FFG, so what they did is illegal. What they did is fraudulent. What do you mean 5 pads? Shut the fuck up. I have receipts of me. I know you all think it's really, really cool to see me like this right now, right? You're sick human beings, all right? You're sick. If you get pleasure and give money,
Just remember that who's sick? Ooh, she's trembling. Her voice is trembling right now. We're sick because the cat is alive and now does not have nails sticking into the pads of her feet. We're sick. Okay, sure, whatever you say.
and then Stella told me that FFG has your cat. And I'd like to know exactly karma for what? For what? For what? For defending myself against the constant harassment from this evil witch in Montreal? What did I do to this horrible person, miserable person, for her to harass me like this? So you know what? You won, okay? Good for you. You can tell the world that her nails grew too long, even though I have receipts telling Amy, who was supposed to have the cat, that her nails were long, and I had receipts that I acknowledged that, and I had receipts that I offered to take her to the vet today. Yeah, so you have BBJ, don't kill her like you killed your 2 dogs. It's insane that people are willing to suck your ass, but go against me when you euthanize your 2 dogs and one of them for anxiety. So, anyway, none of you are too bright. So, good for you. Good for you. I have nothing else to say. I have no words. I'm not, at the end of the day, yeah, she's rehomed. I don't know. This person is sick. I don't know what she might do. Like, the fact that she's psychotic enough to go to these lengths and you're not worried about BBJ's well-being and her care, the fact that you think I mistreated BBJ is bullshit.
Whoops. Maybe. If you want, I'm not against that, really. Well, actually, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, no, there's people who, want to. It's not about abandoning. I'm not thinking about abandoning her, actually. I'm actually taking the time to think of her. It's actually the opposite.
She is.
I'm actually taking care and time and thinking about the best option.
Actually, tragic. Krusty Kitty is kind of a Bambi here. She did not know the backstory about BBJ and FFG and Foodie, like that whole thing. So we're kind of giving her a crash course. Right. I hit some of the high points on that, but we're kind of going through and giving Krusty Kitty like a crash course here. Yeah. It absolutely was. And it was priceless to watch in real time, let me tell you. Right. Kybella was around for a while. And after this and her acting an ass with people that set Kybella off on that whole I'm going to fuck up your world scheme that she went on. Yep. Oh, we could go into a whole side character arc on Pete's. He's just as much of a piece of garbage as Foodie is. No, but I think we're covering that. That's where we're at right now, is it's talking about her being all for putting her down.
For BBJ, okay? She is queen, and I give her a lot of love and attention, so I'm trying to find the same for her while I'm gone. I'm going to be gone for 3 months. Do you think she's going to be happy with Pete? He's not going to give her the same affection that I did, so I need somebody who will. She will appreciate that. But if I take her to the vet and the vet says she's 20, like,
she wasn't 20.
I come home.
Every time she talked about the cat miraculously got a year older. That's just because that's simply who she is. That's all. Right. It was specific to today's anniversary, but we're kind of adding to it here as we go.
And she, like, normally when she went, like, she must be losing her hearing. I have to go up to her on the chair and go, hello. And she goes, like, she was all confused. She's the girl, like, she's obviously, like, she's freaking in, like, adult years, probably, like, 90. Do you know any 90-year-olds who are the epitome of good health? Because I sure as heck don't. I don't know any who are good health at 90. Heck, I don't even know anybody who's 90. So BBJ is a feline miracle. No, exactly, Reginald. So most vets don't euthanize just for that. So I'm not taking her to the vet just for that. I'm also going to be bringing Sam. So but yes, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I think it, I mean, I don't know, it might be in her best interest. She is old and frail, and I'm not going to be there. And there's going to be like male cats. I don't think the environment will be the best for her. She won't be as happy. I'm thinking of her happiness. I think she could be happy with somebody who's very loving and who has the same energy as I do. It's not that she's a burden. You're not understanding. I'm not trying to get rid of her. You're completely done.
I'm gonna bring them to the vet before I go. Obviously, they're gonna get everything done. I just want to get everything checked out, make sure their shots are up to date, which they're not, but they will be. I'll make sure their shots are up to date, which they're not, but they will be. So people can stop freaking out about that. Their whole like this is new for me. I never get them vaccinated ever. Call me by cat owner, I don't care. I never get them vaccinated ever. Call me by cat owner, I don't care. Also, another thing I just want to say. It's a nut. It does kind of look like. Hey, no face.
Here and Heather, here's Pete's. Here's how Pete's would deal with this cat, knowing that this is an elderly cat and knowing that this cat had problems.
Hey, Peter. Hey, mustache. Actually, okay. So I just started keeping an eye. Sam is downstairs, I think. And I was trying to keep an eye on Casey just because before she got on my lap, she was on my butt rest.
Oh yeah.
And like sort of moving to get up onto my lap, and her head was shaking a lot. Like you know how old people do? You know how like old people do? Where like she's definitely got the shakes. She's definitely getting the shakes. That is concerning. Since I'm getting old, yeah. Yeah, when Chantal gets back, we'll definitely need to take her. Yeah, when Chantal gets back, we'll definitely need to take her. Like, this is the first time I've noticed it. Let's take her to it. It's been a few months. Probably about 6 months. So it's getting about time for a checkup anyway. But the fact that, her head was shaking. Yeah, that's definitely cause for concern. I think.
And I love that.
That got me thinking that she might not have that much longer. Aw, yeah. Hey, Angel. Hey, Dana. She's upstairs. Casey's upstairs. Hey, Christy. Okay, all right. Hey, Rusty. Fine, I'll show her off. So I was gonna chip her. Only if the vet decided it was time to put her down.
Look at how nasty her coat looks.
Oh yeah, she's
Thank you, Kalari.
She's fine. No, she's fine upstairs.
Bless her. Look at that sweet face. That poor baby.
She's totally fine. They take FFG or anyone's offer to get checked out. You're letting that she's not suffering. She's not even suffering. She's fine. But most of the time, she's able to handle the stairs just fine.
She was walking funny. Like on the carpets, she was okay, but as soon as she would go like her feet onto the wood floors, you could see the way she was like teetering just from side to side, clearly in pain.
She will be taken to a vet. Yeah, I saw FFG's offer. I've seen nothing to indicate that she is not completely totally fine. Like I said, I didn't. She has no other symptoms, and even the head shaking was only just for a few seconds. It's honestly entirely possible that what looked to me like tremors were just her having trouble balancing on something that can be hard to balance on. Because like I said, I've seen absolutely nothing else, no other indications.
I absolutely
She is going to be taken to a vet. But for now, she does seem to be completely and totally fine. I think it's even a seizure. Did you put that when Chantal gets back? Don't worry. She will absolutely last until Chantal gets back. She's not showing any signs of ill health. She's not suffering. I've seen absolutely no indication that she's suffering. Like, she is fine. Just shut the f up, people! For fuck's sake! The cat is fucking fine! Jesus fucking Christ, you fucking people are just goddamn tedious!
I'm sure he thought the same thing about his cat that he left alone in a filthy, disgusting room to die by itself. That's why I think he's just as much of a piece of shit as she is.
Like, Christ, just shut the up. She's fine. The cat is fine. She's fine, you idiot. Shut up. Just leave it. Just fucking drop it. Just fucking drop it. Drop the thing. Just drop it, all right?
I've had her since 2017 in my videos. There's compilations of me how I treat my effing cat. She was my everything. So shut up about that. It's BS and you know it. Let me fix my freaking hijab. I'm gonna freak out. I'm gonna freak out. So, this is her and succeeding, sadly, at causing outrage, false outrage, at the very least, exaggerated outrage over something that's not even true. Basically, there's nothing the cops can do. I would have to go after her civilly for harassment. And I'm just trying. I told Salah, I'm just trying to move on and be a better person. Anyway, so I was about to pray, and then Salah told me, I was like, what? This person, Amy Flowers or whatever, reached out to me on Instagram and insisted, like was very insistent on taking BBJ, that she was sick, she's bedbound, she could take care of an elderly cat, blah, 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 blah. By the way, her, I just missed, I have no words. I have no words anymore. I never imagined people would be this sick. Angela, are you serious? Just be happy she's being taken care of. You're missing the point, I think, a little bit. Are you actually defending this? Okay, goodbye, guys. Yeah, see you. Anyone else don't think this is okay and not demented to the max? Listen, how is it not wrong? Somebody else message me. FFG has bullied me? You don't get it. You don't fucking get it.
All right, the rest of that I'm pretty sure is her doing the woe is me thing. But real quick, we have got us a little update on the BBJ. Okay, let me open this up because Miss Kalari was kind enough to send this to us so that we could show this, because I am hella proud of the fact that FFG took this sweet angel and has got her back in a state of health. She looks amazing. She looks fat. She looks sassy.
Okay, here she is working on her little poof, like the feral kitty that she is.
She's gained weight. You can look at her and see it. Her fur looks fuller. It looks fluffier. Look at how full her face looks, y'all.
She just licked her little chop. She's so happy with her little poofs. Okay, here she is working on her little poof, like the feral kitty that she is.
I think there's at one point. Let me find it. Oops. There's one point there where she actually picks her eyes up and looks at the camera, but her eyes are a lot brighter. See right there? I mean, her eyes look a lot brighter. Her face has filled out. I mean, it doesn't really matter at this point what Foodie has to say. The proof is in the pudding, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, you can look at this cat and see a difference. Overall, she looks healthier. That is a content animal versus what we were seeing. The posture on this cat is more relaxed. Right. She looks clean. Her fur does not look sticky and gunky and oily like it did before. You know, so all right, Heather, there is your crash course there on BBJ and Foodie and FFG. There has been like an ongoing feud between French Fried Girl and Foodie since ages ago. But, you know, the fact is that whole thing with the situation with BBJ, today is a big day because today is the day that FFG freed BBJ from Foodie Beauty and the prospect of being put down. So there, yeah, exactly. We're all gonna send good vibes out to Miss Cat. Right, the bloopiverse, the bloopiversary. Right, it hit her right where it hurt. Hit her right where it hurt. Right, she pulled off the greatest heist in Girlverse history to date. I mean, this whole scenario, even for me, I don't know about y'all, but this even trumped the Cuba Rage for me, because Cuba Rage, she continues to pass that off as I was drunk. That's not how I feel. I would never have said any of that. This whole rage around BBJ, she cannot, and I mean cannot, utilize any excuse to justify any of the things that she said or any of her behavior. She was stone cold sober. Stone cold sober, you know. She is definitely a happy girl, and I am 100% happy that she's somewhere where she can live out her final years with some peace and some comfort and some love, you know. Yes, and Foodie did that shit on purpose. She enjoys torturing people. And the fact that she did that to BBJ when BBJ probably loved her more than life itself is really, really fucking demented. You know? Right. At least until she comes around and figures out that we're talking about it again and it's been a year and she still looks like a whole ass. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I expect that we're all going to wake up to a whole rage, acting an ass. Right. I gave up my cats for you. No, I know you're not. You are definitely more of a dog person. But you are also one of those people that you have common decency. And if a cat showed up at your house, Heather, I have a feeling that you would probably feed it and take care of it until you could figure out somebody to come and take care of the baby long term. You know, you are not a heartless person. Thank you for covering this. It's important to remember, given the fact that she has more animals. I know, and that just irks the ever-loving piss out of me. Right. Cats have grown on me now. We have a farmland, and I'm a dog mama too. Bless you. Cats are such funny are funny creatures. They get passed off as being very, very solitary, but they're really not. You know, right. And that's the main reason that I don't have them, is they require a lot of time and attention and everything. And given the fact that I have had a tendency to work long hours, and that probably won't change anytime soon, I don't feel right leaving a dog to their own devices and having to kind of be alone, because it's not good for their mental health, you know. Their mental health is just as important as their physical health. Absolutely. And please don't forget that animal cruelty is now a felony in Florida. Absolutely. And such as it should be. It absolutely should be. I'm actually in a predicament today because I've never heard it happen previously, but I'm pretty sure the next door neighbor beat the crap out of his dog earlier. It sounded like it. I couldn't be certain, but it's got me feeling a kind of way. I'll tell you no lie. I've never heard it happen before, but the sounds that dog was making sounded like it. We'll see. Not everybody's able, but the fact that you can it means a lot. They need that social interaction. I'm not sure what to do about the next door neighbor. Like I said, I've never heard it before. I've never heard that before. I've never seen it, but it just sounded like it, and it's kind of got me feeling a kind of way. Yeah, see, me too. And it bothers the fuck out of me. And it's like, well, if you're going to do right, and I may, and that's probably what I'm going to do. But I mean, honestly, it's like, if you're going to do an animal like that, then why have the fucking animal? I mean, obviously you don't have the patience for it, so why not give the dog to somebody else who actually wants the dog, who's willing to take the time to take care of the dog? My biggest issue thus far has been like, they keep the dog in the backyard, and the dog really doesn't leave the backyard much. And I've only seen the dog on walks a couple of times since they've moved in. I mean, they're not supposed to be here long term, from what I understand. They're renting this place temporarily and doing repairs on it so that the new owner can either resell it or use it as a rental. I don't know. I sent you a picture of your nephew. He's got a rough life. Oh my Lord. That's rude. That's my nephew. That's Krusty's puppy. He likes to use me as furniture. He's a rotten. He is cute, but he is so spoiled. My new rescue dog screams like he's being killed if you pick him up too fast or if he thinks he's in trouble. I think he's been beaten before. He also cowers when you've been to pet him, but he's recovering. With the fact that you're taking the time and the patience to work with him, I'm sure he'll rebound from that. I can see that, and being able to win their trust back and to show them that not all people are bad. That it's an amazing thing for them to be able to come back from it. Animals are incredibly resilient. I have to get my dog bathed like every 10 days. I don't mind mine being on the couch, but the dogs smell. Well, the dogs kind of own the house and they just kind of live in it. You know what I mean? Absolutely. I would rather be surrounded by animals than people most days. We were out in the yard putting this shed up, and Romeo went out to play earlier this morning before they got here. And before we knew it, we got out there and started putting everything together. And before I knew it, there he was, and he was all up in the middle of it and wanting to supervise and see and smell. And the guys from the work crew stopped and loved on him and was like, "Hi, buddy, how are you doing?" He ended up spending the entire time out there with us, just hanging around, talking to everybody, headbutting legs and everything. And both of them were like, "He is such a sweet guy. He's a very friendly cat." I was like, that's him. He's very much the little lover man. Oh, they absolutely do make better company. Hi, crab apples. Oh, He sticks to me like glue, and he's warming up to my husband. He seems to fear men. Yeah, Romeo be winning everybody over. The last time the guys came through and we put the gazebo up in the backyard, he was actually laying in the garden, in the raised garden bed out there on top of the catnip. He was just laying on it like a pillow. But he would come over and talk to him and then go back and lay on the catnip some more. Craziest thing. But yeah, he's a very sociable fella. He loves him some attention. We have a rescue weenie dog that's very skittish, and we recently lost my beautiful Potties. Who was also a rescue, but they are both little lovers. It's time and patience. They'll get there. Right. Romeo has definitely earned his name. Putties? You mean pitties? Y'all, we have been I knew what you meant. Y'all, we have been at this for 3 hours. Y'all got anything y'all want to go over while we're here? Oh, wait, Alice Undone's done posted another video. Let's learn some stuff about Alice Undone here. We've watched a little bit of her, but apparently this is a Q&A on her. Let's learn a little bit. We're going to speed her up just a touch because she's another one that talks slow.
Hey everyone, it's me, who else would it be? So as promised, I did get some questions in my inbox. Got a lot, actually, but I think they are mostly from the same person because some of them are very rude and intrusive. But I might answer them, who knows? I'm only going to do a certain amount.
The hair didn't turn out too bad.
Like, I'm going to try to keep it under around 10 minutes. Because I know most people dip out after that. And honestly, if you're looking for some real tea and some real dirt, I would skip like the first 10 minutes of my video.
Knock yourself out.
When they're long, like 25 minutes. Go to the end. All the good stuff is there. Because I know nobody's watching except for like maybe 3 people. And I love you 3 people. Okay. So, look. Okay, first question I picked was, do I have kids? No, I do not have kids. Okay, so like, I never wanted kids. I decided at 6 years old I didn't want kids. I've been pretty steadfast. It actually turned out really good. I did get pregnant twice, and I lost both of them. My body's probably just not healthy enough.
We know
Sometimes
that
I still get sad about it, but not like, ooh, like, I don't know how to explain it. I feel like there was a reason, and I'm probably better off without the kids, especially considering one of them would have been with my ex, and that would have been a mess. And I'm not trying to sound callous about it, because it really devastated me. When you were pregnant, I was going to accept full responsibility and be a parent to that child. And I even had names picked out and talked to it and whatnot.
Better background presentation too.
Which honestly is for my best, or for the best. So I can't even take care of myself half the time. So why would I want to be selfish and bring a child into my mess? Anyways, but on the other hand of that, like, I think I would be a helicopter parent. So I would want to homeschool, especially living where we live. Like when my nephew was here, I was talking about homeschooling him. And we had friends, and he went to Taekwondo. We did activities, like there's a church here that has like kids stuff to do. I have a friend who homeschools children, and yeah. So I just, I don't know. I'm an overthinker and an overworrier. So I don't know if I'd be the best mom. It'd be a hard time for me, but who knows what the future may hold. And I say that as knowing that I'm not going to have kids, but I'm saying that as somebody who has some stuff going on in the background. And if you remember, you kind of know about it. It's all up in the air. So who knows? Who knows what the future may hold? A lot of things in my life are shifting into different directions and places I never thought they'd be. Because honestly, like, I don't do my career that much anymore. So maybe the universe is shifting for me to be a caregiver to a child, an 11-year-old child, which is funny because I'm going to be 11 this year too. On the 29th, I turned 11. And if you don't understand that, I was born on leap year. I'm going to be 44, and I'm going to be 11. And my nephew is going to be 11 in March. We're all going to be 11. Okay, are you single? It's kind of a weird question. No, but yes. I don't know what you call this because I'm not married anymore. So, right now I'm in a situationship. No, I'm in a relationship that's on the rocks, and we're working on rebuilding it, possibly, or it's on a trial run.
Then technically you're in a relationship, honey.
In the next 6 months, either we will rebuild this relationship or this relationship will be done and we will go our separate ways. There are things that need to be done, and I don't know how to explain it. Like therapy, steps. He's going to AA.
Thank God for that.
Appointments to see if he actually has dementia or what kind of dementia, which is a very scary thing to go through alone. So, and also like at this moment in time,
yeah,
like it's a whole complicated thing, and it's a lot. So
I'm of the situation like her talking about the guy. I mean, realistically, until he gets sober and he's sober for a little bit, that they're not going to be able to get a true read on what a normal level of function is for him. You know what I mean? Because alcohol and other substances, it all has a neurological effect on the brain. So, it does tend to shift the way the brain normally functions. That's why you hear those people who go through what's called the pink cloud. That's why they feel so amazing, like the first 3 to 6 months after they quit drinking or using substances, because your body is finally starting to get back to some semblance of what normal looks like, and you just you're kind of overwhelmed because you feel really good, because you've been kind of dulling everything down and kind of impairing your body's normal capabilities for so long that you have to reacclimate to it. So the fact that he's actually stopped using substances at the moment or stopped drinking, for him, I mean, he may still have some issues for a little bit after. I mean, I would say that, him going to the doctor is not a bad thing, but, I think it might be a little quick to try to determine whether or not he's got dementia, though. But that's just me.
It's something it's hard for both of us, and we're both working on. But he actually is working on it for him, sort of thing. And like I always tell him, if you don't want to do the steps, you don't have to. Nobody's making you do anything. But you can't do those things here. And if you want to stay here, you have to do these things, kind of thing. So, there's always other options. So, no, because if this relationship is done, I don't believe I want another relationship. So just don't like where dating is now. I don't like the way relationships are now.
Yep.
I don't like people. I don't like people.
Agreed.
I just rather just be me and my dog. I think he's home. Hold on. Okay, I guess it's just those two acting a fool. Or he's home and he walked back out. He went fish with me. We were working on some one-on-one training, and we were on hip still. It's going to be a process. I mean, I don't know. It may never be where we can have all 4 dogs in the room together. That's a few. Okay. Did top, did bottom. Let's see. Middle. Okay. Why don't you XYZ? And when I put XYZ, it says hair, gym, shopping. That was there was a few questions. Why don't you just go to a hair salon? Why don't you go to the gym? Why do you have such big grocery hauls? Why don't you this? Why don't you that? Okay, this will be the last question because we're already at 9 minutes. I might do a part 2. So if you have any questions, let me know. So take everything you know about living with modern conveniences, okay? About having things driving distance, and throw that out the window. And then if you're like semi-rural, where, you know, things are like, oh, half hour, 45 minute drive to things, you know, okay. Throw that out the window too. So where we live,
We get it. You live in the
other
middle of
than, like,
nowhere.
I don't like people touching me. I have not had my hair professionally done since I was like 13, 14 years old. Yeah, there was this one time in Albuquerque, a stylist school, and you could get like a haircut, facial, or something like for $20. I don't remember what all it was, but nonetheless, it was a very awkward experience for me. So I guess I got a trim then. I was growing my hair long at the time, which is why, like, after our divorce, you notice my hair went like whoop. And plus, after the like I was saying in one of my videos, I can't believe how thick my hair is now. I was afraid to grow it out. So when I like short hair too, I was afraid to grow it out because it got really thin for a while after the gastric sleeve. It would just like, I'd run my fingers through it and it would just like, it was horrible. And it's weird because I've started eating carbs and fruits again and my hair has gotten thicker. I'm like, wow, that's kind of crazy.
Her talking about her hair thinning out after she had weight loss surgery, that is actually a part of the process. I went through it. My mom went through it. Pretty much every person that I know that has had some sort or form of weight loss surgery goes through that phase. And it's because it's just your body's response to such a drastic shift in weight loss and such a drastic shift in dietary intake and vitamin nutrient intake, you know, because you go through, you go from an excessive amount to a drastically decreased amount. Yeah. And in order to sustain yourself, you do have to take a fair amount of supplements. You know, you have to take an iron if you need it. You have to take a multivitamin, a Pepcid, acid reducer of sorts, calcium supplementation and stuff like that. It just depends on, what your dietary intake is, you know, in relation to your food. And her talking about, she noticed when I started eating carbs and fruit again, all of a sudden my hair started to get thick again. Well, I mean, if you had been eating those foods from the beginning, I mean, you can have carbs, but just not an excessive amount. The whole point behind having the surgery is to teach you how to eat again and to eat in a way that your body is going to be sustained without having to eat crap, you know, basically. Well, she said that they're getting ready to go to therapy, apparently, for the two of them. He's going to go to therapy, and I guess they're going to go to therapy because they have weird dynamics between the two of them, I guess. I don't know. I'm still here just staying extra focused, driving in the rain, and I've seen about 50 deer. I have a really big vehicle, but not enough to handle a deer yet. No, I don't blame you. You keep focused on that. We don't need no accidents, okay?
So yeah, we have a gym here. There's actually kind of two, and I say kind of because one is only open for a certain amount of hours, and I know it may sound like excuses. Both the gyms here suck. They did start opening the gym at the college 24/7 again, but now it's $30 a month, and it's not that good of a gym to pay $30 a month, in my opinion. I don't even think half the machines could handle me. But also, like, I just don't feel like in my head it doesn't justify, because when I used to pay $30 a month for a gym, I had a swimming pool. That's the main reason I want a gym, is for the swimming pool. And the other gym is only open from like this hour, like I think 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. until like 7 or 8, and it's the one where all the cops go. And again, all it has is like weights and maybe a couple machines. So, but it's all the cops in town go, and I'm just like, no, thank you. And groceries, we do.
I love that she is trying it to me, and I'm sorry. She says that might sound like a justification. That's exactly what it is. There's absolutely nothing saying that she can't get up and walk out of the house and go walk down her road or whatever. There, I'm sure that there is somewhere that she could go find to walk. She doesn't have to be limited to a pool simply because that's what she wants. And she doesn't necessarily have to go to a gym. I mean, there's nothing really stopping her at this point from making changes that will actually put her back on a road to where she's losing weight again. Right. You know, I mean,
we usually try to go out of town once a month, do a big stock up.
We know about the food halls.
Their prices are very high. Sick meat, potatoes, and cheese kind of thing. Produce is iffy. Sometimes you get good produce at a reasonable price. Sometimes you get really bad produce at a more expensive price. There's been many times you buy stuff and it's expired, it's rotting, stuff on sale when it's here. I have only garlic hummus, and it was by the yogurts. And for a while, they had the hummus by the produce, like where the pre-made salads are. But then I haven't seen it. And if they have it, they put it somewhere, and I don't know. I did a video once kind of showing it off, like in the members only. I don't know. I don't go much because I'm always, a small town thing is people always say hi to you. If they, you know, and it's like, I don't want to talk to anybody. I do go occasionally, but not that often because I just don't want to run into anybody and have to talk to people. And it's like 7 a.m. So I can't go at like 5 in the morning. I can't go at like 10 at night. So, you know, even if I could, I mean, what is there to get? I'm an open book, really. Hey, Pip, stay humble and stay kind and look out for the normal people.
God, dog, that exit music. Shoo! Ma'am, you need to do some adjusting on your volume. Good gracious. Oh, real quick, y'all. Just so the cover photo for the stream, that was one of my yard animals. His name was Shy. Shy was one of 2 horses that used to live in my yard. Old boy, he was old boy. He passed away. And his partner, Chaos actually is living on a farm not far from my house, where he has been trained to do equine therapy. So, and he was a chestnut. He was a wild mofo. He was a hot mess and a half. But from what I understand, he is very calm now, and he is amazing to ride. He was one that he could, you know, take corners at 90-degree angles. He was a bad mofo. We never got the chance to do any riding with him, though, because he was untrained. He was uncut. He was a wild man. But, you know, I'm glad that even he had the opportunity to evolve. You know what I mean? Oh, it's okay. It's all right. He was an old feller. He was an old feller. It was just his time. He was already kind of up in age when we got him. He was one of my mom's little projects. She decided she wanted to have some horses, and they ended up in my yard because, you know, she didn't have nowhere to house them, and I had a big old lot. It's okay. It's okay. I saw that. It's all right. It's totally fine, Gail. You know, I don't mind. Right. I thought so too. When I found out he was going up the road to this farm, I was like, oh, they're gonna have their hands full with him. They said, oh no, the first thing that we're doing is he's getting gelded because he can't be ungilded because he's too ornery with all of his parts intact. And then right after that, they started training him, and now he's saddle broke and he's rideable. And they say he is very chill now, and he's a very nice fella now, which is nice to know, because when he was living on my property, you had to be real particular about how you dealt with him, because even if you were sweet to him, he'd reach over and bite you. He was definitely his name was very, very fitting for him. But I didn't have no other photo to put as a cover photo, so I just picked one. And I was like, ooh, well, Shy Man. That's a cute photo. Oh, man. All right, y'all. Well, I'll tell you what. Bless your heart. Well, I tell you what, y'all. We have been at this for almost 3.5 hours. It is getting late. I know all of y'all, this is y'all's weekend, but I know some of y'all still got children and responsibilities to take care of tomorrow. Well, Chaos, real quick. Chaos, we named Chaos that because it was chaos getting him from where we picked him up from to our house. It was a hot mess and a half. I mean, he was kicking the back of the horse trailer the whole way. Pow, pow, pow. He was letting it be known. I really am too. You know what I mean? I like I said, today was just, it was a day. and I had no interest in getting mired down in it all. You know what I mean? And I'm glad that y'all are willing to come hang out with me too. I mean, we always have a good time when we're together, you know? I'm fixing to go take care of some stuff. I got to fold some laundry. I got to prep some food for the weekend because I do not want to have to be buying no food because I'm on shift at the nursing home the next 2 nights. But I'm really glad y'all came to see me, and I'm glad that everybody got to have us a good time while we was here. You know what I mean? But I'm going to let y'all, it is quite all right, Gail. It's quite all right, honey. Oh, no problem. But I am going to let you guys go because it's getting fairly late on the East Coast side of things. And I know some of y'all got stuff that y'all got to do before y'all call it a night and get some rest so that y'all can be reasonably presenting functional adults tomorrow. Thank y'all again for coming and hanging out with me. And thank all of you guys on the replay. I appreciate every single one of you. Y'all take care of you. And I will catch up with y'all next time. And remember, hydrate, 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 because you are nothing more than a houseplant with more complex emotions. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye, y'all.